There we go. There we go. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Yo! Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Am I good? Am I audible? Am I visible? Am I in sync? We good? We straight? Hey, St. Andrews, how we doing? Fish Army, welcome, welcome. Mafta, so close, so close, so close, Mafta. How we doing, though? Bro said first incorrectly, came back with the autocorrect. That's hilarious. Good timing, though. I try. TikTok's on. Yes, I'm here. Should I change it back to a... Oh, no, I know it's your song. You're fine. I like Mafta. Mafta's nice. You're fine, man. How we doing? Oi, oi, Neb. Oi, oi. I'm landed and killed me wife and took me bloody son. Womp womp. Shout out to the boys. I love that fucking trend. Fish Army, you late, boo. No, Fish Army's like, hold on. Oh, damn. You got it before Fish Army, so I guess you have the right to say that. Go for it. That's funny. How we doing today, guys? I hope we've had a lovely, fun, productive, wonderful day. I know I have. But yeah, what's going on? What's up? You guys already know what we're here for. You know what we get down to. You know what we're here to talk about. Let's talk about all the weird shit no one else will, right? Spirituality, neuro-linguistic programming, all things pertaining to the workings of the mind and psychology, evolutionary psychology specifically, all that crazy stuff. But obviously, you guys already know what I'm known for the most. So anything about dating and relationships. So ask me those questions. You want to ask me about that one girl or guy you've been talking to? Apparently some girls like to ask me questions too. Go for it. But I'm mostly here for the dudes though. No homo. What you guys been up to though? How we been? What's good, gents? How you doing, Dimitri? Welcome. Now I called the first in the group chat. Oh, okay, all right. No, that's fair. Or you came in with first. Nice self-belief. Nice delusional confidence. I like that. Since I smashed the church girl I talked to you about. I told you she wasn't a church girl, though. See? Like, I told you. They're not actual church girls. They're just girls you meet at church. There's a difference, you know? I had to notify the rest of the group before I came in, so I'm the actual noble guy here. Aw, that's sweet. Thank you. We spent the last weekend. It was good. That's good. Please respect me, he says. I do, Asami. I do. I just watched The Source by Joey Dispenza, and it was great. I've heard about The Source. That's the... Isn't it... Am I tripping right now? Sorry, I'm thinking about a different Joey. Joey Dispenza is the guy that talks about all the workings of the universe and, you know, your relation to the laws of the universe, right? That's the guy? The guy that talks about manifestation and stuff? Yeah. I was thinking about someone else. But yeah, I have heard of The Source, though. That is true. Bro, in the back end, do you do anything new, or is it just more of the same thing? It's a little more showing the willingness to provide. It's showing your softer, more sensitive side. It's slowly revealing to her the parts of you that you don't show to everyone else, right? I always say your woman has is better acquainted with your shadow than you are, right? So yeah, that's what the back end is all about. Let's see. But what's crazy to me is that we can get the LMR, last minute resistance, even when everything was good. Yes, last minute resistance is really just that. Like when we talk about it in terms of last minute resistance, it really is last minute resistance, and it will come even when you had no, like, or very little resistance before that point. It happens like that. What's really different? The difference between back end and the front end. The front end is where you set up the back end. The front end is where you do everything to establish the frame of the relationship, the dynamics, the boundaries, what you will allow and what you don't allow, and the pace at which you want to start the relationship with. You know, it's funny. I was just talking to someone about this very recently. Even stuff as subtle and minute as how often you want to see the girl on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. That's all set up in the front end. The back end is where you essentially fulfill all those promises, right? So everything you say around the girl and do around the girl is essentially a promise you're making into the future, right? In the front end, when you first meet a girl. The back end is where you show an ability to actually fulfill, or preferably over deliver on those promises. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Jace, please tell Asami that head doesn't count as it doesn't, by the way. It definitely doesn't. But, you know. Do you think there's some type of guys who get LMR more often? If yes, why is that? Yes. That would be the more aggressive type of guys. So, when I say aggressive, I mean guys that try to skip steps. The whole reason you're getting LMR in the first place is because she is still uncertain about your current balance of tension and comfort in her eyes. She doesn't feel enough tension around you. Well, usually it's because she doesn't feel enough comfort around you. There's still something that she doesn't feel comfortable about. Maybe she's not sure you actually like her yet. Maybe she's not sure that you know, your actions are being aligned with your words. Maybe you're telling her you want a relationship with her. Like if you're a liar, for instance, if you're a guy that's lying to her and you're like, I want to be with you forever, but in your mind you know you'll not see her anymore after you fuck, then she will probably give you last minute resistance if she can feel that that's the case, right? But it's usually a comfort thing, is what I'm trying to say. It's usually around the level of comfort they feel around you in that moment. So the aggressive guys are the guys, like the overly aggressive guys. I'm an aggressive guy, but I'm an aggressive guy that has finesse. The overly aggressive guy that is socially uncalibrated has a bad habit of making women feel rushed, of making them feel like there's not enough comfort built yet. So they're gonna skip steps, so to speak, and then eventually it's just gonna be a matter of time before she goes, no, something doesn't feel right, last minute resistance. Absolutely. Do you think we should see resistance as a compliment? Yes, you should definitely see resistance as a compliment. You wouldn't get resistance to begin with if you weren't making, you know, if you weren't going in the right direction, right? It's like when a woman goes, I'm not the kind of girl to sleep with someone on the first date. If you're on the first date with a woman and you at any point hear her say that, that means she's thought about you naked, essentially. That's why she would say that. Right? That's why she would bring that like barrier to entry and be like, oh, I'm not the kind of girl to sleep with a guy on the first date. It's because she's thought about you naked. That's not a bad thing. You know? I think it's a way of testing and acknowledging confidence. Yes, essentially. We talk about that in the self-belief course. How important is it to be physically capable for game and life? It's so important because that discipline translates into other parts of your life. You know, being physically capable, being able to handle yourself, being competent in the way of protecting yourself gives you more confidence in the way of protecting others. And a woman has to believe you can protect yourself from her in order for her to believe that you can protect her from the world. You know? Well, Ryu doesn't understand. Head meant a lot to me. It was like a wall I wasn't willing to cross. That's funny. You're wrong though, Asami. It's not that big a deal. Like the first night I smashed her, but at the third she gave me the LMR right after confessing herself. Was it because of her confession? Okay, so you got LMR before, like after you've already smashed. That's not LMR at that point. Like you've already smashed twice. At that point, it's not LMR. At that point, she's just trying to use sex to get. It sounds like I probably need more, you know, context, but it just sounds like she's trying to use sex to get more assurance out of you. And women will do that. They will withhold sex as a way to control your behavior, as a way to get something out of you. Now the job's not. All right, I didn't write that one. Let's see. Now there's nothing stopping me from my game. Type shit. I know, bro. I was facing the same wall. I feel like I joined the zone after I did it. Like I was unstoppable and everything was in my grasp. That's good. Well done. Proud of you, indeed. How do I ask her out to smash without it being weird? I mean, ask her out to a bar without it possibly being awkward. Okay. Don't worry about the awkwardness. Just tell her you want to see her later and suggest the bar. The reason it's going to be awkward is because you're placing a lot of emphasis on it like it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. It really isn't. Literally tell her we should go out sometime, or we should spend some time together to get to know each other a little better. There's this bar on so-and-so place. Come with. First round's on me, second round's on you. And then go from there. That's how you make it like not awkward. The irony, the awkwardness or creepiness of all kinds is that the moment you start thinking about how creepy or awkward it can be or possibly, or worry about how creepy or awkward it is, that's when you actually become creepy. It's the moment creepiness or awkwardness enters your mind. That's where the creepiness comes from. So as long as you move like it's not a big deal, you'll be fine. Jace, do you think I can get to advance in a year? It depends on how much you're willing to do. Like, it's possible. It's very rare. It's very, very rare. Even I didn't do that, but that's a lot of multiple long-term relationships you got to be running at the same time for the next 365 days. So good luck with that. Let's see. I've been feeling like if I was physically bigger, it would benefit my game since it makes me more congruent, disciplined, protective. I feel like at some point every man feels like that. Every man feels like they have to be bigger physically to gain some kind of other level of confidence. And I've been through that level too. The irony now is that understanding life and understanding, like, especially when you get older, understand like health risks that are associated with bulking too much and stuff like that, you realize what's really attractive is the discipline that comes with your body. And if you're more bulky or just thick in general, you're not going to look as disciplined as you possibly can. So the irony is the best way to move through life is to lean out. But with that said, I will definitely recommend at least once in your life, preferably at least twice, but at the very least once in your life, every man has to go through a bulk. You have to know what it feels like and look like to get as big and as brick house as you possibly can. Like, hit the gym hard. My last bulk, I was literally eating like 8 meals a day. It was crazy. I went up to, I think, 255, and I was still lean. Well, not lean, but you know what I mean? Like, get as big as possible and then go through a cut and really dice yourself out. See what you look like and what you feel like when you go through that bulk and cut process. It's very important. How do you get a dismissive avoidant back that said they wanted space and can't be in a what? Between me and her family and Des and her family from this year. Can't be in a relationship with you between, is that what you mean? So let's get something straight, like for a few things. The attachment styles are not real. Bam, I said it. The reason, okay, not that they're not real, but the study of them is almost useless because women especially change their attachment style depending on the guy they're talking to, right? So for one guy, she can be a dismissive avoidant. To another guy, she could be whatever the opposite of that is, because women behave in direct proportion to the level of excitement they feel around a guy. So to you, she's dismissive avoidant, but I bet you anything, if you were to change your behavior, if you were to change the behavioral cues you were firing at her in her direction, she would probably begin to become a different type of attachment style. That's one. Two, if her natural inclination, like her natural instincts, are to find a way to get away from you whenever she experiences trouble in her life, then that tells you that she doesn't see you as her firm mountain. She doesn't see you as her rock. She doesn't see you as someone she can depend on for her emotional needs and outlet. You're not someone she trusts as a leader. There's someone there. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. I don't know who this girl is. But for the most part, all that is, that dismissive avoidant and whatever, is just, it's her showing you through her behavior she don't trust you like that. And again, that goes back to what we said before, your behavioral cues. The way you're behaving around her is making her feel like, I don't know if I can trust this guy with my emotions. He seems like a little bitch to me. I need a shoulder to cry on, not someone to cry with me, right? So, do with that information what you must. I'm already like that psychologically, but the physical appearance matching might be useful. If you feel that way, go for it, man. What if I say I'm going to this bar, want to hang out? She had a busy life with picking up kids. I knew that name looked familiar. It was Guardhammer. Guardhammer, remind me again, how was that girlfriend of yours that we were telling you to leave? Where'd she go? Did you leave her yet or no? What happened there, Guardhammer? I remember you. Yeah, it's been a while though. How you been? It's been like 6 months. Where you been? And what happened with that girlfriend of yours that we told you to leave? What happened? Let's see. I felt like that because she was confessing, so I reassured her about me being there to protect her, etc. And the next day she texted to know if I was serious about the reassurance. Oh, yeah, same difference. That's exactly what I told you. Like, they use sex as a way to drag reassurance out of you. That makes sense. Okay, so you're basically saying to hop on trend since being physically capable. No. Don't hop on trend. It's not necessary. Figure out how far you can go by your own means and strength, right? Without any outside help. Okay? Yeah, get big. It's going to take you longer than someone that is on trend, but get big. Sure. Let's see. And I think Ryu got it. How far now? Michael, what's up? Is telling a situationship we should stop talking, is it part of being unpredictable? I haven't spoken to her in 2 weeks after I said that. I mean, no, that's not really unpredictable. That's just, you ended things. You ended things. That's it. That's not unpredictable at all. You just set something in stone. Unpredictability has more to do with your actions, not your decisions, right? If you make concrete decisions around the relationship, that's not being unpredictable. You just broke up with her. That's it. Ain't nothing unpredictable there. It's very predictable. And the fact that you haven't spoken to her in 2 weeks, also very predictable. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, would you expect her to keep trying to talk to you? You broke up with her. You dumped her. Duh. Very predictable. A better example of unpredictability would have been to tell her, for instance, I'm not saying you should do this. That's a lie. Definitely do this. A better example would be to tell her, I don't want us to just be a situationship. I think we should really get proper into a exclusive relationship, me and you. And then 2 days later, she sees you on Snapchat with a different girl. That's a better example of unpredictability, right? Bro was like, for the great magic trick, I disappeared. That's funny. Godhammer disappeared for a while though. But yeah, he's back. But yeah, unpredictable. That's so funny. Jace, long time. Yes indeed. How you doing, Profilo? I am back. Where have you been? In my cave. But I'm back out. I'm out the cave, baby. Woo! I'm out. How do I know if she wants to hook up by her behavior in the workplace? There's another married woman who wants to keep meeting up with me for lunch. You gotta test it. You gotta test it. You gotta test to see if hooking up is a possibility by bringing the possibility of sex into the conversation. Say something that's super flirty. Say something that's sexual in a way, like increases sexual tension. Like literally, just call her sexy and see what happens. Literally, just be like, I've always thought you were a very attractive woman. I've always thought you have a very nice, charming, sexy allure to you. And then see how she responds to that. That'll tell you everything you need to know. If you're too pussy to do that, then you're never gonna find out. No way I'm going to do. I dirty bulk. You say you dirty bulking? Dirty bulking is you say I need to be lean. Hey, be lean. Hey, don't listen to me. Do what you gotta do, man. I'm naturally lean or skinny, so the bulk wouldn't necessarily make me bulky. Oh, fair enough. How to deal with being in competition for a girl with an older guy? I'm 20. He's 33. Oh, massive experience gap there. Good luck with that. You have to highlight the things that you believe you have over the other guy. If she's still talking to you even though that guy is there, then that means clearly that there's value that you have that he doesn't. There are things that pull her closer to you than, him. If you're that much younger, it might be your sex appeal, it might be how exciting and unpredictable you are, it might be how much more interesting you are in the way you see the world, and how much glee and hope and ambition you still have. The older men get, usually the more jaded they become, which is unfortunate. But, when you're younger and you have young energy, it's a very exciting thing for women, But yeah, figure out where your strong points are is the point. Like, end of the day, it's a game of mismatches. What makes you beat the other guy is the things that you have and can demonstrate that the other guy doesn't have. So know your enemy and plan to destroy him. Do you think looking into your trauma is ever beneficial for your game? Kev, you gotta traumatize her even more. That's funny. Yes, it's not just for games, it's just for life in general. Maybe, I feel like a lot of people try to erase their trauma or try to villainize their trauma, or it's one thing I really hate about this modern therapy they got going around these days, especially here on apps like TikTok and YouTube. Is like, oh, it's trauma, it's a bad thing. Like, no, I think understand your trauma. Your trauma is really part of who you are. Your trauma is part of how, your brain in its own mind has been able to keep you alive this long. So the idea isn't to villainize and eradicate your trauma. The idea is to really, truly understand it, become one with it, and to use it correctly, right? A big part of my ambition comes from my trauma. Big part of it. Like, the reason I grind the way I do and want the things I want and want to achieve the things I want to achieve is because of my trauma. I don't stifle that. No, I use it. I fucking use it, and it's worked out very fucking well, right? So that's what I think. The same thing applies to game. Understanding your trauma, and by the way, just even if you're not gonna use it, which I still suggest you do, but even if you don't want to use your trauma, just being able to communicate your trauma to someone else makes you appear so emotionally intelligent. Very emotionally intelligent. Because most men aren't even willing to do the amount of work it takes to understand themselves that deeply. So imagine talking to a girl. Maybe you've been talking to her for a few weeks. You're getting to know each other a little more deeply. You're talking about, trauma, past events, things and situations and experiences that really shaped your worldview and your thinking. And you have a way of not just telling the story of that particular experience, but within that story, interjecting with, I now realize how this thing in particular, when this particular thing happened, affected my way of thinking, and this is why I do the things I do, this is why I do this particular thing, this is how I was able to adjust to this is the defense mechanism I formed from this thing. It shows as like a massive level of intelligence, obviously, but also emotional intelligence. Well, not that there's anything like emotional intelligence, but a level of competence with understanding your emotions and understanding how you work, how you tick, which is very valuable for women because it shows them not only are you socially calibrated, right? You can behave yourself correctly. You have the correct emotional response to the correct circumstances, but that means you also know how to stop yourself from going too far, if the need be. You know what I mean? Does that build comfort or value? In a weird way, both at the same time, but mostly comfort. It definitely builds comfort more because it's like, okay, this is a man that understands himself. Like, it's like finding out the beast can talk. Does that make sense? It's like if you imagine going into the jungle and you run into a lion and you're like, fuck, a wild beast that just wants to eat my human flesh. And then the lion looks at you and instead of roaring, it just goes, who goes there? Right? Or it goes, I already ate today. I actually just want to sleep, but I need you out of my pride lands. You'd be like, holy shit. It would both terrify you, but give you comfort in a way. Like, terrify you in the sense of like, holy shit, this wild beast has the capacity for thought. That makes the beast even more dangerous. Because it's one thing for it to be a wild beast moving off of instinct, but now this wild beast can move off of intelligence, which means it has the ability to outsmart me. I'm fucked. At the same time, though, it also means you have the ability to reason with the beast. Does that make sense? Like, oh, okay, I can talk my way out of this as opposed to try to outrun a fucking lion. You see the point? So it's kind of both at the same time, but mostly comfort. Should you start doing that after sex? Like, I don't want to give you like a solid rule like immediately after sex. Like, no, don't think about it like that. Allow relationships to open up organically as they go. Not everything will be within your control. So if the girl wants to start divulging information about herself, think about it like you giving up information about yourself too is kind of like small payment. Obviously, at a massive ratio that benefits you, right? For every, again, don't stick to solid rules, but for every 2 things she gives about herself, you give a half of yourself type shit. Like, point I'm trying to make is it should be imbalanced. You know, she should be working harder to get more out of you than you will get out of her. With that said, though, yes, like for the most part, the more time goes, the more comfort is built, the more you get to know each other, the better things get in terms of like the way you demonstrate your emotional intelligence to her. All right, let's see. She has traumas from guys who mistreated her. Do more trauma. She's 19. Are we talking about the same girl? I'm kind of doing half to one, but she thinks it's 1 to 1. Perfect. Good. You know, that's exactly how it should be. And by the way, it's not even, I wouldn't even say it's a good thing if she thinks it's 1 to 1. You kind of want them to know that you're not as forthcoming as they are. I like it when my girls complain that they're not getting as much of me as I'm getting of them. Or like I literally got accused the other day of like, oh, I feel like I love you 4 times more than you love me. And I'm like, yeah, I would say so too. And that's exactly where you want it to be. That's the perfect ideal ratio. Because then you can lead the relationship correctly and she gets to be a girl. Right? Girls are better when they devolve back into like their 12-year-old self. And that's what a woman is when she's in love with you. Right? So that's perfect. That's perfect. Kev, you gotta traumatize her even more. Yes, don't be the nice guy. Absolutely. He said she is her type, but she's young, so still legal. He's not gonna do nothing. We had a playful chat on IG once, but that's it. The guy in question, the 30-year-old guy, what else do you know about him? You know, let's find out. One of my girls' mom caught her lacking talking to me, and she told her she wants to marry me, and now the mom is messaging me about marriage. That's so funny. You can play along if you want to, if that's like something you want to look forward to. But you're a young dude, you don't have to be worried about any of that stuff. The mom already likes you anyway, which is why she's even doing all that. So just talk to the mom and, you know, give her compliments. They like that shit. Next thing, she grabbed my hand saying, yes, it's perfume and I'm a seller. What are we talking about? You came out of nowhere, Emmanuel. That is the first message I'm seeing of you. She started chasing to take her numbers so I can buy her perfume. I'm guessing TikTok took away whatever your first message was. Nah, I don't want to be locked down. That's funny. Then ignore the mom. She's still here, LMAO. She got another tattoo of my name on her hand. She gave me her location and been taking care of the house a lot more, cooking, cleaning, loving, tenderness. After I got some help, LOL, with a C-ring. Ah, I see. That's interesting. You found a shortcut. It's not going to last long, but hey, good for you, I guess. Shout out to you. Let's see. Jay's question. Patrice O'Neal was dating a girl with a kid, and he was a big back, but still not a provider. How? Because the circumstances under which he was doing that provisioning for was protector-like. Patrice wasn't dating some single mom because he felt like that was the only thing he could do. He was dating a girl that happened to have a child. And those are his words, by the way. That's not even something I said. Those are his words. And that's the perfect way to put it. The perfect way to frame it, too. If you listen to the stories he was telling about his relationship with his girl and her kid as a result, it was very clear he had established a massive level of authority and power over her and her child. That child, even till this day, considers Patrice like the greatest father she ever had. You know what I mean? She's like older now, by the way. She's like 20, maybe almost in her mid-20s by now. I'm not sure. But yeah, Patrice O'Neal wasn't just some guy. It was some stepdad, some dad that stepped up or any dumb shit like that. He was just the guy that did what he wanted, and he happened to have a girl who happened to have a child that was willing to do whatever it took to keep Patrice around. And that's why he kept her around. She really was a good woman to him. Shout out to Vaughn. But yeah, that was his situation. R.I.P. Patrice. She's always saying I'm smart and good looking, so she understands why my girlfriend is a jealous type. And you're falling for that? Relax. Don't allow meager little flattery like that to get you. Relax. This is a great time for lives. Bet. I will keep that in mind. How you doing, Kay? Been a while. Since I need some exercise to start cold approaching, I'm losing my way on how to do it progressively. The more approaches you do, the better. How many approaches are you doing right now on a daily basis? How many approaches? And her dad found out and he said he wants to hit me. I feel so disrespected, by the way. He wants to hit you. Yeah, like he can do shit. Man, tell that old man to sit the fuck down. Dads be trying to do the most, I swear. Yeah, I had to end things. I figured I was chasing, trying to hook up more than she wants to. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm not sure, like, the first situation for that, but yeah, that's good. I want to get my fine married neighbor, but she do give mixed signals. Are you sure she's giving mixed signals? Or that's just you creating fantasies in your head? Guys tend to do that. Oh, she wants me. Are you sure? Are you sure? What have you actually done to test that interest in the sexy neighbor? Hey, what's going on, Don? How you doing? How to get over the fear of asking her back to your place after a date. You have a fear of that? That's a fear? Huh. Interesting. I would have figured that would be like the most exciting part. There's a fear? What? Okay, alright, so automatically I'm thinking if there is a fear associated with that, then that means there's something back at your place that you're not comfortable with or you're not proud of. I don't know what it is, right? That's between you and your conscience. I don't know. But if at all you have some kind of a mental hiccup from bringing girls back to the crib, bro, that's a homegrown thing. You definitely have something back at home that you're not proud of. Maybe it's the way it looks, maybe it's the way it feels, maybe it's the way it smells, I don't know. Fix that, and I'm sure that fear will go away. Maybe he means fear of rejection. I thought about that too, but that can't be it, because if he's already at the point where he's at the date with the girl and talking to the girl, and it's apparently going so well that there's a possibility he can ask her back to the crib, like, come on. He's already gotten over so much fear of rejection to that point for me to believe that by this point it's a fear of rejection. And if at all it is a fear of rejection, then how are these dates going? Because, I mean, I guess that's a possibility. But what are the chances that he's going that long in the date without creating any sexual tension? Because that's the only way there'll be a fear there. If you're on a date with a girl and you're just having nothing but mundane conversation, then yes, it's going to feel weird and awkward to, metaphorically speaking, pull your dick out. Right? It's going to feel weird. But if on the date you were already talking about how much you were attracted to each other, how good you think she looks, she's telling you how good she thinks you look, it's a no-brainer to just be like, oh yeah, let's get naked but somewhere else. How about my place? It's a no-brainer. I would say make out outside, so going back to your place is the logical thing to do. Exactly. See, Fish Army gets it. Like, if you're on a fucking date and you're creating all this sexual tension, it should not be surprising to her that you want to take her back to your place or you want to go back to hers. That makes perfect sense. So I would say, how the fuck are you running these dates? Are these even dates? First of all, like, what's going on there? I have so many questions. I'd assume the dates aren't even escalating in any form. You might be right, Ryu. You might be right. I don't think there's any escalation. That's the only way I can think of there being like a fear or hesitation around doing the next logical thing after a date, which is fuck. You're supposed to fuck after a date. Like, duh. It's two people getting to know each other and essentially, covertly, right, on a subtle level, agreeing on mutual attraction. If a girl is gonna sit there and talk to you for 3 hours and laugh at all your goofy jokes and, you know, touch your arm and you touch her thigh, without saying, I like you too, you've already kind of established there's attraction there. So when you go, yeah, let's go talk like this, but in private where no one else can see us, the frame is set. The implication is very clear. Dick is gonna get pulled out. Pussy's gonna pop. Right? So, you know, let me know what else I'm missing there. Also, you can use the mission method stuff by saying, hey, let me show you my goldfish at my place. I mean, even that is cool, but again, it's better to establish some sexual tension before that point. That way, when you get to the place, even if you do show her your goldfish, and then go, by the way, let's go sit on the couch, have a bottle of wine or Capri Sun if that's your speed. I'm a sparkling water kind of guy. Then yeah, at least at that point, she's not surprised when you pull out your dick later. You feel me? She's giving me the ass to press once, and we do roll well, but she's always on and off. It sounds like you're in the friend zone with extra steps. Sue ST. I want to get my fine married neighbor. Okay, so the neighbor in question has given you the ass to squeeze from time to time. Has she? Interesting. Well, go do something. I mean, don't forget her situation. She has a husband that's probably watching her like a hawk. So you can't just, you know, you got to be smart. You got to have like a logistical plan to chop that without getting caught, especially for her. All right, so be careful. That last video was relatable as fuck. My girl be too tense these days. Yeah, she knows I'm a piece of shit, right? It is what it is, man. Give her some reassurance. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. That's so funny. I'm gonna start putting out videos about Love Island season 6. I'm watching it with my girl, and there's a lot of stuff happening in there that's like, it's a perfect example of how differently men think from how differently women think. It's very funny. None, 0 approaches. I'm a bitch. You are a bitch. 0 approaches? The fuck? Why? All these tools I've given you? All these fucking things I give you to help you along the process? My friend, if you don't go on, I'm gonna talk to you like my dad. No, but seriously, go do some fucking approaches. Like, go flirt with your cashier when you're getting a coffee or a bolet or something. I don't know. San Andrews, we were disappointed. We're very fucking disappointed. Absolutely. Like, come on, son. You're better than that. Let's see. She has given. Oh yeah, I read that one. The girl I went on a date with sends me stickers and says nothing every time the tension gets too much for her over text. Last time I diverted the topic. Yeah, that makes sense. Should I ignore her this time? She's sending stickers. It's her way of like alleviating herself of the tension. It really has nothing to do with you. It's her way of trying to not let the tension get to a certain point. It's completely. I would be grateful for that because it's almost like her way of letting you know her meter for tension. It's not a bad thing. What I would do is give it a few days, and then reply like nothing happened. That's what I would do. That way she can sit in the tension for that long, wonder if she'll never see you again, and then you pop back up like nothing happened. That way it doesn't feel quite like a punishment, even though she goes through the process of feeling all those mixed emotions. You know. When will you upload the live on YouTube? I'm lagging. I missed your answer to my question. Oh no! I'll upload it later. You said resistance is unavoidable, but at what point do you consider that resistance is low? Resistance is low interest and thus not worth trying to make it work anymore. To be honest, that will come with a bit of experience. But as a rule of thumb, if I had to give you like a solid rule, I would say if it's genuinely something you don't see you're getting more indifference than anything else, then you can definitely back off. Like, even in resistance, you're either going to get positive or negative resistance, as in it's going to be pushback, but it's going to have some kind of emotion attached to it. If the pushback has no emotion attached to it and it's just pure indifference, like say her not replying you at all, or just leaving the conversation to die, that's probably just a complete lack of interest. I often just talk to people, but I don't label it cold approach in my head. I just talk a lot. Good. That's a good way to warm yourself into it, actually. That's very good. But yeah, think about it like that. Like, interest is something that is either hot or cold. So if it's completely lukewarm, then it's disinterest. Still need to see them glutes. God damn it. Y'all gonna have me out here. At some point, why not? Pause, of course. Pause. Heavy pause. Let's see. When a professional fighter loses to another fighter, is it that one trained harder than the other, or is it deeper? It's almost never deeper. It almost always comes down to either the strategy that's applied or the ability to execute on the strategy. Right? Like, there's different battles that happen before the fight day, and then during the fight, there's a lot of battles happening there as well. There's who prepared more, who prepared better, who got themselves more mentally prepared, more physically prepared, more prepared in the right way. There's a lot of fighters that are on paper the better fighter that prepared incorrectly and they lost as a result. Like, I've seen situations where the fighter was the better fighter on paper, but they prepared for a long-winded cardio session, like 5 rounds. I'm going to win this one by points. And then they get in there and get knocked out in the first 40 seconds, right? Because the other guy prepared for a short fight. He was like, I'm not going to go into the second round with this guy. I want to finish him off, and I want to finish him off right now. So preparation can be that edge. Let's say all things are equal in the whole prep stage, right? And again, when I say all things equal, I'm also including their natural advantages and genetics into that, right? Because that can also be a thing. It can be, you can prepare more than the other guy, but the other guy just is taller than you, longer than you, and knows how to use his reach better than you. You're still fucked, right? But let's assume both those things going up to the point of the fight night is the same. At that point, it becomes who has the better strategy up to that point, and who has the better discipline with executing that strategy. Because you can have the better strategy and have weaker discipline and still lose. Or you can have the weaker strategy on paper, but you're more disciplined with it and you stick to it throughout the night and you win. Right? So it's never just, one thing or the other. It's usually a combination of things that makes fighters either win or lose a fight. So if you look deeper into any or every single fight, even the ones that look like, oh, that was an underdog that won. Oh, this guy wasn't supposed to win, but he won. When you look at both of them, it makes sense. Like, oh, okay, that's why every fight makes sense the way they end up. I promise you, every single one. Even the ones that end in draws. They all make fucking sense. One thinking back and in front end is a great way of living life. Example, if they post a picture of their boyfriend and they're kissing front end. But are they in love back end? Something like that. That's one way to look at it. What do you do if a girl unfollows your Insta yet stalks your Snapchat and posts subliminals about you? You do nothing. You allow her to seethe in her emotions because clearly she feels a lot of them. You do absolutely nothing. There's nothing to do. That's none of your concern, really. And the fact that you even know about what she might be doing and whatever subliminals about you that she might be posting out there, that tells me that you're too focused on her. What are you doing? You're accusing her of stalking you, but clearly you're the one stalking her. You fucking hypocrite. So leave her alone. Leave her alone. You're better than that. If not, I know where to attack. In order to not be like that, I need to be and then act. And be in flex. For the front and back end thing, sure. Let's see. You can look dangerous, big tattoos, piercings, but are you dangerous? Can you fight? True. Very true. Looking dangerous and being dangerous are two entirely different things. And they're also two entirely different levels of confidence. Right? A person that is capable will always have a certain degree of confidence over the person that is not capable. It just happens like that every single time. Let's see. Went on a date with a girl. She was all over me and couldn't stop touching me. I could tell she wanted the D, but she couldn't come back to my place because she had to work the very next day. So I left her that night, asked her back later via message, but she seems to hesitate more. Should I give her reassurance in order to make her come? I need more context for that. I really do need more context for that because it could be a number of things. If I had to guess though, I would say she knows what you want. The thing about getting close to sex and not having sex is that it ruins the next time you want to meet up with her. Because now she's just going to assume the next time you want to see her is just for sex. And this is a big mistake a lot of guys make. They go, okay, so the first date went well. We almost fucked, but we didn't. Okay, I know what to do. I'm going to invite her to my place. I'm going to try to get to her place. And then we'll see what happens from there. What you should do is be like, no, let's go out on a second date. I had so much fun on the first date. Let's go out on a second date. And then actually set up a second date. And then be like, listen, to be honest, I just want to spend time with you. I'm not even sure I have the time to, make you come back to my place or go back to yours. Just, I'll let you know later on the date though, but I really just want to spend time with you. Right? That way it completely removes the possibility of sex from her head. In the first date, you want to introduce the possibility of sex. But since sex is already established, that possibility is already there, to lean on it in the second date is a big waste of time. And it'll set you back far. So you got to remove that possibility now so that it doesn't look like the agenda you have. Do you get my point? So second time around, you go, listen, let's just go on a second date. Hey, I paid for the first one. This one's on you, though. This one's on you. First round is on you. Don't worry, I got the second round. You go out on the second date, and then you can be like, you know what? It's kind of fucked up that we have all this time together and all this fun together, and we enjoy spending time around each other. But I haven't even made out with you yet. That's crazy. And then begin to reintroduce sexual tension that way. But you never want it to look like, oh, now it's time for us to fuck. Come to my place. Like, nah. What if you frame it in a way that it makes it look like you don't care about it? You can also do that. That also works. But to say you don't care about it would be overcompensating too much to the other side, though. Now it'll look like you're trying your hardest to not look like you want to fuck her. So I wouldn't even advise that. I would just say, out of sight, out of mind. Don't even address it at all. Talk about how much fun you had on the previous date, how much you like spending time with her. Hopefully this is a girl you actually like spending time with, right? That way you're not lying. And then from there, be like, you know what, let's do that again. Let's go to this place instead. Or do this instead. Or come with me with this. Or run this errand with me. A lot of my second dates, honestly, are errands. Listen, I'm going to the so-and-so place, come with. And then I pick them up in the car and I go. Right? Or let's go see this movie. Or let's go to this museum. I want to take some cool Instagram pictures. Or I want to try this new spot that just opened up around the corner. Whatever the fuck it is. At that point, and here's what will happen, by the way. Here's the beauty of it. This is the beauty of life in general. Whenever you don't try to want something, you get it faster. Most of the time where I tell a girl on the second date, where we almost fucked on the first one, let's go do this thing, they'll almost always be like, okay, come pick me up or come to my place first. Or let me come to your place first so we can both go together. And then guess what ends up happening? Most of the time, like I'm talking 80% of the time, we don't make it to the date. We end up just fucking. That's usually what happens. Because they know that the possibility of sex is still in the air somewhere. All they want to check for is how much you want it. So once you say, oh, let's go to a second date, then they're like, no, just come to my place first. Come pick me up. Like, I've literally had times where it was like, I literally wanted to come pick the girl up. Like, in my mind, we're going to go throw axes. That was the thing. We're going to go throw axes. And I'm parked in front of her apartment building. And she's like, oh, wait, I'll be down. I'm still getting ready. Listen, it's still going to be like 15 minutes. Why don't you just come upstairs? And I park my car. And I go upstairs in the elevator. And I get up there, and she's in nothing but a nightgown. And I'm like, are you even getting ready? And she's like, don't worry about that. Hey, meet my roommates. I start talking to her roommates. Like 10 minutes later, she's like, okay, I'm going to steal you from them. Say bye to my roommates. Bye. Go to her room. Fuck. You see what I'm saying? So, like, that's usually how it'll happen. That's an interesting law. Wait, is this a law of the universe? Yes, it is. The law of detachment. The law of detachment. Whenever you want something or are attached to it, you're less likely to get it. Whenever you don't want it, you almost get it effortlessly. You almost get it by mistake. Now, when I say don't want it, I'm not talking about I'm pretending not to want it. I'm talking about you really can do without it. Like you really allow yourself to be okay with doing without it. That's why, that's a big part of why guys with girlfriends are very attractive to women. Because when you have girls in your life already, you don't give up the energy of a guy that needs girls in his life. And women find that so attractive. It's like, oh shit. Oh, this is a guy that doesn't want pussy? Now I want to give him pussy. Right? And it applies not just to women, it applies to everything. How do we do it? I knew someone was going to ask. How do we do this with money indeed? It's literally this exact same thing. Like even on the phone with a client. There's something we're going to be doing a lot, me and you did, because I'm going to teach the entire group chat how to properly do this. But even on the phone with a client, it's like when you tell them this is why you should have this thing and this is why you should get it right now. You should get it now while the sale lasts and all that shit. There's like a needy energy to it. It's like, he wants my money too much. But if you put it in front of him and you're just like, hey, this is the thing that I know and I can guarantee that this is the thing you need. Right there. You can take it or leave it. You don't really have to get it. In fact, I suggest you don't get it. In fact, go and ask people around first. Go and use the free shit I tell you to do first. And see how well that works. And then come decide on this. That lack of a neediness is like, oh, no, take my money now. Right? That's how you make all these crazy numbers. We'll talk about that more, when the live is up. But it's like when you want it too bad, it runs away from you. That's why it's called chasing. Never chase. How do you practice the law of detachment or non-neediness? What is a practical thing I can give you guys to do? I can tell you guys to do this. I can tell you to make a list of all the things that you truly, deeply desire in your life. Right? And then ask yourself, why do you want these things? Right? In order to understand the law of detachment and to practice it correctly, you must first understand where your attachments come from. Right? That is the real secret to it. I'm telling you what I told you. You have to first understand where your attachments come from. Why do you want the things you want? We don't want anything we want because of that thing. We want it because of the way that thing makes us feel. Whether in certainty, whether in security, whether in safety or comfort or convenience. We want these things because of how good it makes us feel. Once you can identify the emotion that the things that you want make you feel, you can begin to become detached from the thing itself. Because you've now dissociated the thing from the way it makes you feel. So with money, for instance, what does money mean to you? Right? On a broad scale, for all of us, it means like safety, security, freedom, right? But depending on who you are, depending on the specific life experiences you've had up to this point, money and a certain amount of money means something specific to you. Maybe it means relief from the burden of debt. Maybe it means certainty in knowing what you're going to eat tomorrow. Maybe it means security from the possibility of an emergency that will require a lot of money from you. Identify that emotion, then detach it from the money itself, because the money is useless. Does the law of attachment also attack your goals and dreams? Yes, it does. It does, right? The law of detachment, not attachment, the law of detachment. But yes, understand where the emotion comes from. Like, what does the money mean to me really? Why do I want the money? Is it because I never want to feel XYZ experience ever again? Is it because I'm running away from a certain thing? Is it because I want to feel something for the first time in my life? Is it because I'm looking for predictability, certainty, confidence, access to certain things? Once you identify what that money means to you deeply, then you can begin to appreciate the emotion itself and not the money that you think will come with it, or the money that you think it'll come with. You feel me? That's the biggest first step. When you get down with that, when you get done with that, then you can really begin to practice that dissociation and detachment, because you now realize it's not the money you want, it's that feeling. The second step is to feel that emotion now. That's the hardest step for most people. Hardest step for most people. But once you cross that hump, oh shit. Like, I'm talking about the first time I figured this out, the very next month was my first $10,000 month. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. Once you figure this, like, once you get over that hump, whoo, doors open. How do you sit in the emotion without being used to it? It's not that you should be worried about being used to the emotion itself. It's that you should come to appreciate that emotion and feel it in this present moment. Because, okay, let me really break this down. And I'm happy we're using money. Do I have cash here so I can give a visual? I don't really usually have cash on me. But let's use money. Let's pretend. Oh, I actually have a wallet here. Perfect. Let's use my card. Got a metal black card. Money. So this represents money, right? This is whatever the fuck. Like I literally have it's Jace bitch on my thingy. It's very funny. But money, right? We have the ability to spend whenever we swipe this card thingy, everywhere and anywhere, right? In our minds, the ability to swipe this as many times as we want to and be able to get goods and services in return gives us a certain feeling. Relief, freedom, certainty, predictability, confidence, whatever the fuck it is to you, figure out what that emotion is. Here's not what I want you to do. Because you've attached that emotion to this thing. You've attached that feeling, that comfortable, convenient, confident, free feeling to this thing. I want you to separate that emotion from this thing. That's the first step. Have the emotion, remove that thing. Once you have that separation made, feel this thing, this emotion, now. I mean, if you very rarely felt that feeling before since never having achieved that state or goal, imagine what it will feel like then. Imagine what it will feel like. Honestly, that's even better. Because if you have to imagine the emotion, if you have to come up with it in the moment, like really sit down, close your eyes and think about what it would feel like when you're finally making the kind of money you want to make, and you can feel the hair on the back of your neck stand and your goosebumps come out, and the relief of how your shoulders collapse, and like just knowing everything is going to be okay. Oh, I don't have to worry about this or that. I can pay off this debt. I can do all these things. I can buy my mom that house. Like that feeling, that relief feeling like you've never felt before, but you can really imagine it in this moment and completely detach it from the money. Powerful. The money finds you. It fucking finds you. It finds you. I promise you it finds you. Oh, so feel the freedom while in the process. Wait, so this is what manifestation is. Literally, this is what they've been trying to teach you guys what manifestation is for the longest time in like many different ways. But they never tell you the gist of it. When they tell you meditate, when they tell you go and do something that represents the fulfilled desire, right? Like back in the day, it was go and write a check for yourself and whatever, or carry around a certain number of bills, like even fake bills in your wallet, and walk everywhere with it, or draft up a fake degree in a frame and hang it somewhere in your house. They told you to do all those things because they wanted you and they wanted to help you replicate the feeling of already having those things, because it's the feeling that matters. What is feeling? It's emotion. What is emotion? Energy in motion. Manifestation is the manipulation of energy in present time, in the present moment. It's not attachment but detachment. The universe wants you to have it even before. Even that language right there, you gotta watch it. When you say even before, what the fuck is before? Right? Because the only place the future or the past exists is in our minds. The only way we can access the future or the past is through our thoughts. Until we think about them up here, they're not even real. All that is the present moment. The reason it looks like money is off in the future is because you keep thinking about it like that. If you can bring that same money that you're thinking one day I'll go make one day it's gonna be mine. If you can bring that one day type of thinking and bring it to today, manifestation. That's what the fuck these people have been trying to talk about for the longest. All of them. You know, everyone from Jesus to Buddha to Neville Goddard, Napoleon Hill, Joey Dispenza, all of them. That's all they've been talking about. I had the same experience. I did my first 10K month after I write down and put it in my wallet. Exactly. Right? So whenever you looked at that note that you put in your wallet, you felt the feeling of you already have 10K. That's why the 10K happened. But it has to happen in here first before you can see it out here. And that's the beauty. When I say we are gods, motherfuckers think I'm like trying to mock the Almighty. The Almighty gave us this power. Jesus left and he told his disciples, there will be another that comes after I'm gone. You will have another comforter, another teacher after me. The Holy Spirit. What do you think the Holy Spirit is? The anointing. The power to do the same thing God did. And what makes God God? What makes God the being he is? Creation. And how does creation happen? You create it up here first. And then you solidly believe in its existence. And that's how it exists. So instead of being advanced one day, I should be advanced today. Literally. I can tell you for a fact, I didn't become advanced until I began to believe it. That I was. And then after like a year of doing some crazy shit, I look back, I'm like, wait a minute. On paper, I think I'm advanced. And then I asked around and I got confirmation like, oh yeah, you're up there. Right? So that's how, like, listen, man. Look throughout your entire house right now, wherever you are. If you're at home, at your job, on the commute to work, to school, maybe you're coming back home from wherever you went. Literally everything around you was created by someone. And you want to know how they all did it? They saw it up here, then it happened out here. That's how it happened. That is literally how it happened. Now, the actual process of manipulating certain things to make all these things come together to create the creations that we have, all those are different skills, different techniques that have to be learned over time. But for the most part, creation is really just 3 simple steps. And it's the same corny 3 lines you've heard your entire life. It's believe, receive, achieve. Not even kidding. You got to see it up here. You got to believe it's here now. Like right here. And then it'll happen. Oh shit, I think I got it. It's the lacking in our mind that keep us there. Exactly. Poverty is a state of mind, guys. I'm being dead ass. Trust me, I grew up in Nigeria. I know what I'm talking about. I understand so deeply what the difference between rich and poor is because I've been both. Like, I grew up poor in the midst of rich people. And I know why they think differently than everybody else. It's very interesting. Then it will happen. Does that mean you don't do anything? No, it doesn't mean you don't do anything. There's still a process to make the things happen, obviously. But the reason I say then it will happen is because in your believing it has happened, all the correct actions you have to take will be aligned towards the fulfillment or the manifestation of that thing. All right, when I made that first 10K a month, do you think I just went, 10K and I'm going to go to sleep? Like, no. All of a sudden, I start waking up with vivid dreams of, like, the things I should be doing. Like, the things I should be saying on videos. The things I should be talking about in videos. The calls I should be making. Can I begin to explain every minute detail of, okay, so this is how I got this person to buy this particular program and this is how I did this? No, I can't even, like, it's like, how can I begin to explain how the TikTok algorithm brought the exact people that needed to spend the exact amount of money for me to hit 10K a month in that month, right? How can I begin to explain all that? But that's what happened. All I did was what I had faithfully done before. So how does one escape the poverty consciousness? By entering the wealth consciousness. The beauty about light energy is that it completely dispels dark energy. In order to remove what you don't want to see, you do nothing consciously to remove it. All you do is do the things you do want to see. That's it. Right? So it's like when I keep talking to you about girls. Don't actively go out of your way to say no to 6s. Just start saying yes to 10s. Just shift your focus. That's it. Shift your attention. That's all you got to do. You feel me? Left her that night. Asked her back later via message, but she seems to hesitate more. Should I give her? Oh, I already read that one. About the guy, he is 33, not big, can't fight, has experience, but because of environment. Oh, okay, I see. If I was 33, I would be less experienced because black guys don't have a chance here. Oh, that's funny. Well, if you feel like that's something that you can beat him in, then focus on that the most. So should we do the same with positive thinking? Yes. Literally. Like, yeah. Like, do the same exact thing with positive thinking. Like, just focus on nothing but positive thinking. Focus, like, it sounds corny and cliche, like positive thinking. It's not that positive thinking will make you rich. That's not what's going to happen. It's that positive thinking will get you in the proper mindset and flow state to be able to receive the kind of ideas and action plans that you need going forward. How can you use that to gain more motivation and energy? Dude, I'm happy you asked that question, because that's not even something you need to use consciously. It'll happen. When you're inspired to do something that you know deep down will actually move you towards achieving your goal, the energy will come out of nowhere. That is where those weird all-nighters that you didn't plan happen. You just start doing shit, right? Just start making the right phone calls, doing the right things, saying the right things, going to the right places, running into the right people. Shit just starts happening. It's fucking crazy. It's great. You feel me? The flow state will have you getting ideas out of nowhere. Listen, I can't tell you how much money I've made from the ideas I've gotten in my car or in the shower. You know what I'm saying? Like, the weirdest places, I'll be at fucking Starbucks with my girl, and I'll be looking at the painting on the wall. Boom. I know exactly what I need to do to make an extra, like, 10, 20K in a month. Like, fucking crazy shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the inspiration comes out of nowhere. And you're just like, whoa. When you have that, I can't even explain how that feels. When you have that, it's like, shit. No one needs to tell you what to do. You don't need motivation. Like, you think after getting an idea like that, you're like, no, I need to go watch fucking motivation video. Like, no. You have the thing to do now. It's just a matter of execution. Yeah, but how do you shift that mindset? I feel like you gotta be already blessed to be in that mode of thinking. Okay, I'll put it like this. There's a reason they say cleanliness is next to godliness. For most people, there has to be a reset, for sure. For sure. I can't, in good conscience, sit here and tell you that in those times in my life where I've had those amazing miracles, and I do call them miracles, happen to me, that I wasn't in a position to receive them. Because I was in a position, both physically and mentally, to receive the good things that were happening to me. But here's the funny thing though, is that when you're in that position, you realize those good things are always constantly happening around you. Those opportunities and ideas are constantly falling into your head. You're just not noticing them all the time because you might have what we call the lead paint stare, right? You might be an NPC. You might be someone that's blinded by your current environment, by the people you're surrounded by your current daily routine that is completely blinding you from opportunities that are literally under your nose, right? So for a lot of people, and I'm talking about if you're like completely down bad, depressed, the real solution to your problem is immediately go on a fucking fast. And when I say fast, I mean from everything. Fast from fucking Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, food, fucking Disney Plus, whatever the fuck your vice is. The weed, the smoking, the alcohol, everything. You lock yourself in a dark room and you have nothing but gallons of water and some Celtic salt to put under your tongue every 5 to 6 hours. That is it. So you can completely detoxify yourself. If you're not going to go without food completely, at the very least eat nothing but fruit once a day for 7 days. Nothing but fruit once a day for 7 days. Have a different fruit for every day. Banana on Monday, oranges on Tuesday, guavas on Wednesday, watermelons on Thursday, whatever the fuck you want to do. right? But the point is, take away the processed shit. Take away the processed foods. You'd be surprised how much more thinking you can do and how much clearer, more accurate thinking you can do when your fucking gut is clear. Your gut is your second brain. A lot of people don't know this. It's very true. Your gut is your second brain. So essentially, you just have to see and believe the life you want to have, this life. Exactly. But then you also have to appreciate the amount of effort that goes into putting that together. Right? Because listen, this is the beauty about the universe. The universe is not your friend. It might not be your enemy, but it's not your friend either. When you declare to the universe, this is something I want in my life. This is something that needs to happen. This is something that I want for right now, that I want to create. The universe's job is to test you. And God put it that way. The universe doesn't have a consciousness. It's an algorithm. Think of the universe as the universal algorithm, is what I talk about when I'm talking about the universe, right? The universe has no consciousness of its own, but it is designed to work in certain ways during certain triggers. The moment you declare yourself to be something, the universe's job is to go, no, you're not, and to put resistance in front of you. Your job is to go through all that resistance to show yourself worthy of being the thing that you declare yourself to be. And that's when you pass the test and get what you want. You feel me? Oh yeah, repin those comments. They went away. God made it that way. It's basically like a game programming. Yes, God literally created a simulation that we call the universe. A lot of spiritual people think of the universe as something that has like you can communicate with it. The universe it's not alive. It's just a thing that's moving automatically on its own, right? But yeah, don't think of the universe as something you have to give thanks to. You can be grateful for it, but give thanks to God, right? How do you get over your mental resistance, the hesitation and doubt, etc.? Bro, those are the biggest kinds of resistance you get. The best resistance the universe can meet you with are the ones that come from within yourself. And that's what nobody seems to be talking about. The only person I've ever seen talk about this at length is shit. Fuck me, what's his name? Hold on, give me a second, because I want you guys to go watch his videos. He is, how dare I forget this young man's name? I'm so embarrassed right now that I can't even, hold on. There we go. Where is his name? What is his name? There we go, Charlie Morgan. I was thinking Logan for some reason. Charlie Morgan. Everyone go on YouTube right now. Go and type in Charlie Morgan. And honestly, I don't even really care what video you watch of his. They're all great. He is the only one I've seen that talks about resistance as a personal thing. Because that's where most of the resistance comes from. It comes from you. There is no one else you got to fight out there. There is no one else you got to beat out there but yourself. But yourself. You are your biggest enemy and adversary to your own inspiration. Real talk. Real talk. How do you beat it? What do you do to overcome that resistance? You fucking power through it in a way that is systematic, right? So on a base level, you can use willpower, which is just, I gotta push through. But the best way to do it is to immediately come up with a system that makes it easy for you to beat yourself. Does that make sense? Fasting and work and lifting, no sex for a while. Type of stuff, yeah. Type of stuff, like literally. Be disciplined. That's why fasting is important, by the way, because you're teaching yourself to give yourself an instruction and follow it. That is what discipline is. Discipline, and write this down if you have to. Discipline is the ability to give yourself an instruction and follow through with it. That is what discipline is. Anyone can tell themselves they're going to do this or that. Only the truly disciplined can tell themselves to do those things and actually follow through on those orders. That is what discipline is. Do we understand? Very important. I feel like I'm a horrible enemy to myself. I question everything. I'm too critical and perspicacious. I understand that. I do. Begin to talk to yourself with more grace. Begin to give yourself a little more grace. Begin to understand that you do have a massive adversary in the form of yourself, you know? Charlie Morgan YouTube, guys. Please, thank you for that. Charlie Morgan on YouTube. Please go and watch. I don't care what fucking video you watch, honestly. They're all fucking good. Tell him I sent you. He's fucking great. Shout out to Charlie Morgan. But yeah, Charlie Morgan, he's the only one I've seen that actually talks about that, like specifically that. Because no one, for whatever reason, no one talks about it. Yes, you will have the inspiration. Yes, you will be in a position, especially when you go through that reset, that fasting, to receive the inspiration that you're looking for, to know exactly what you do. But now that you have the inspiration, you got to beat yourself to go through it. And you are the one you have to beat the most. Right? And the task you have that has the most resistance around it, like you notice the one thing you know you have to do that you have the most procrastination around, that's the thing you have to do the most. That's the thing that makes you rich. The one thing I was like, when I was about to make my first 10K month, this thing, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to do this. I had like a list of 5 people I needed to call. I don't know if I want to do this. It was those 5 people that gave me my first 10K a month. Those one, I had their numbers for like fucking 8 months before this point. Do you get it? What does giving myself more grace look like? Self-talk, like literally. Understanding that you are indeed human. Having that resistance and having that animalistic side of you that just wants to be comfortable and lazy is part of the human experience. It's part of the human condition. Don't beat yourself up for not being fucking David Goggins. Okay, we're not all born with that level of crazy. And he is crazy. Who's gonna carry the boats, right? So give yourself the grace to know that you're not supposed to be perfect. That's what I mean. Let's see. Bro, when approaching a group, my first instinct is to beef with all of them. That's funny. Beef with one girl and then tease the others lightly. You can tease the entire group, you can, but I would say quickly start making friends with the ones you don't want and isolate the one you do want. Let's see. Yeah, I'm late today. Fine. Is it normal for your confidence to be tested in every possible once you become naturally confident? Like I had this girl posting our DMs out of insecurity and then had other girls DMing me about it like, oh my God, is that you? And I didn't care about any of it. That literally will happen to you at some point. You will have some girl out there be like, this guy's being cocky. I'm a post the DMs on my story or something. I've literally had that like maybe 10 times or something. Like, it's probably more than 10. I don't know. But yeah, that happens. That's just, that's their way of trying to test your confidence to see if, you shake or you break or anything like that. Oh, by the way, I didn't see a lot of the pinned comments, so pin them back up. Let me see. He knows his place more than me. I'm hotter. That's good. Use that. A lot of dating coaches say that if you approach a girl in real life and after a few questions, you should leave her if she doesn't ask questions back. Do you think that's true or exaggerated? Severely exaggerated. A lot of you listen to dating coaches that don't actually talk to women. It's very clear. Severely exaggerated, especially if you're dealing with hot women. Beautiful women hit you with that blasé. There's something called the hot girl blasé. Not my words. Shout out to Todd V. He's the one that came up with that. And it's very true. Like you will be in a set with a girl for 5 whole minutes where all she's doing is just nodding and looking at you before she actually gives you any real like indications of interest. But that's how they test your confidence. That's how they know if you're the kind of guy that actually has the ability to survive in her world. Because in her world, it's nothing but her and her friends like that. They all behave the exact same way. Are you going to be discouraged the moment they don't give you something back immediately? Like, no. You got to be a guy that can be willing to give value without receiving anything in return. What do you keep to yourself? What do you do to keep yourself busy and also disciplined if you don't have the vices? I make those things the vices. My vice is jiu-jitsu. My vice is the work. That's the vice. And it's not like I don't have things that I don't do that I truly enjoy. Like I like food. I love food, actually. I fucking love food. Maybe it's because I'm a Taurus. I don't but I still keep those things under check. I don't have to take my vices to the extreme. Like, I love food. This is what my girls are saying. I'm an earth sign, right? So I'm an earthly, sensual guy. I love food. I love sex, all those things. But I will never allow those things to become my God. I will never allow those things to consume me to the point where I begin to direct and manipulate my entire day to suit those needs. Does that make sense? Very important. Hey, what's going on, okay? I'm happy you're here. Tell them. Leave her if she don't. Oh, no, that's not no. I need to book a call, so leave in a minute. Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. Hit me up on IG, bro. Come on. Damn, Jace, your girl convinced you on astrology. Oh, no. I've been told you guys. What live was that when I talked about astrology and the use of astrology in detail? Astrology has uses. These white bitches have taken it to a different extreme. But, yeah, the study of the stars is as old as mankind itself. And it's done on purpose, by the way. Like, God didn't create the stars for nothing. Very important. So that's what idolatry is. It can even be your food. Dude, it can be food. It can be TV shows. Anything that you exalt over yourself is your God. Anything that has precedent over your own decision-making than you is your God. That is what is now your idol. It doesn't have to be a statue. It doesn't have to be a certain book or list of incantations. It can literally be food. It can be alcohol. It can be sex. It can be egotism, right? It could be the need for self-importance and self-expression. Anything that you put over yourself is your God. Can we get an astrology lecture through your eyes? Yes. I already told you guys. The example I gave in the last slide that I talked about astrology in was in the Bible. When I talked about how the wise men found Jesus Christ when he was born. The wise men that showed up with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Right? How did they find Jesus Christ? They followed his star. They studied the stars. They noticed one that was rather interesting, rather different. And then they followed it until they found Jesus Christ. The baby born in the manger. To Joseph and Mary. You know, the point I was trying to make when I was saying that was God created the stars. God created the constellations. God created their meaning too. So just because the devil goes out of his way to corrupt it doesn't mean it belongs to him. And it also doesn't mean it's not real. Right? If I'm the devil and I don't want the children of God to understand astrology, I shroud it in mystery, I make it demonic, and then I make white bitches ruin it for everybody. That's what I would do. This is why biblical scholars annoy me at times. People with spiritual eyes seem more sensible type shit. Because people with spiritual eyes understand the power and importance of astrology. Listen, dude, if we can all agree, even on a scientific level, like if you live here in America, right? There's 4 seasons. There's literally 4 seasons. There's winter, I don't even know them in their order as long as I've been here. Summer, spring, winter. Which one am I missing? Autumn? I don't even know them. The point is, there's a pattern to how things work throughout the universe. Whether it's how often we have this ball of rock we're spinning on, how often it spins, how quickly it spins, you know, how long it takes to spin, right? 365 days around the sun, one time, 24 hours on its axis. Everything works in a cyclical pattern motion. What about the fucking stars? Duh. Come on. This should be common sense. You don't think there's patterns you can read and see in the stars? We can agree there's some in the fucking climate, but we can't agree there's one in the stars. Really? I'm looking at the girl my ex saw me knocking tomorrow. That's funny. I haven't seen her in 2 years. What's the game plan? She misses you if she's linking up with you. Knock her again. Time to knock, my brother. Just press some yash while you're at it. Press some yash for me. No homo, of course. That's going to be easy for you, though. That's not, you know. If anything, it adds an air of mystery to you, the fact that you're now hitting her back up now that the ex is gone, right? But, yeah, absolutely. That's going to be easy for you. I have a friend of mine who is older, 27, is white but grew up with black people, and he said, "Here we are, here we are. Here we live. Black guys will always struggle to have girls." Listen, man, I've been in America now almost 10 years. If I get the girl, they say, "Oh, it's because you're black." If I don't get the girl, they say, "Oh, it's because you're black." One thing I've learned, and I say that to say this, one thing I've learned is that blackness is an excuse for everything. There's no said or solid rule in what your blackness means. If you got game, you got game. It don't matter how black you are. All right? I'm a black guy. By American standards, I'm a black guy. I get a lot of bitches. I get so many, in fact, I've made a fucking business out of it. All right? There's a lot of other black men that are just as black as me, maybe not as black, maybe some even blacker, don't get no bitches. So it's not a color thing. Chill out on that. Well, the wise man found Jesus Christ with the star. Exactly. And everyone is born with their star. Right? By the way, that's another thing. A lot of people think that that star was a physical one. Not necessarily. There's stars in all the realms. All of them. There's stars here, but there's stars in all the realms. Don't forget that part now. Don't forget that part. It's important. Because this astrology shit gets deep. Deep. I couldn't talk about it, the way I really wanted to initially, especially in the beginning of my channel. I didn't want to get too controversial too soon, but I'm getting nice and comfortable now. So do you believe that our zodiac signs matter? Yes, they do. Not because they determine your fucking destiny. No. But they do give you hints into the energy you were born with. Every human being is born during a certain time in the year. And that time of the year, depending on where you are, what stars are above you, their constellation, what time of the month, all those different things, you are born with certain energy. You are born and imparted with certain things. Like all these things matter. Like astrology, numerology, these patterns matter. Understanding these patterns, especially for yourself. You don't gotta study the whole thing and know it for everybody. Just understanding yourself more, that shit matters, bro. At least care enough about yourself to understand yourself. Now, be careful what source you learn from, because there's a lot of fucking goofy ass sources out there, right? But yeah, these things matter. They do. Let's see. I have a friend of mine who didn't I read that one? How do you test level of interest? Ask for compliance. A woman that likes you will comply with you. A woman that doesn't like you wouldn't care. Maybe he means for I didn't read that one. How long we've been live back from the gym? For a while, about a couple hours now, I think. Is the information on birth date out there truthful? And if not, what information is correct? Birth date is, again, it's like, it depends on where you're getting it from. It's not like if the information is correct or not. Ironically, this is going to sound so fucking goofy of me, but I'm going to say it with pride because I've kind of tested it on a few people now, and there's like definitely patterns there. Go on Snapchat. On your Snapchat profile, right, you're going to see like your little zodiac sign. Assuming you've already put in your birthday, right? You're going to see your zodiac sign there. Click on the zodiac sign. You're going to see 13 pages of understanding not just your star sign itself, but all the different planets and their alignment when you were born. Read every single one of them. Read every single one of them. And then correlate them to past events in your life and see if they match up. I'm not going to say it's going to be 100% correct, even though I really want to say it is. But go and start there. Go and start there. Not even kidding. Let's see. I would say make... Oh, no, I already read that one. So my environment is really bad, but I can move... go to better places where I'm respected and liked. Good, please go. Mexicans first, I like that. Maybe fear of closeness? Nah. Fear of her seeing his place. Wagwan General. What's going on, Will the Locks? I missed you, brother. Where you been? Four finger salutes? Yep. Yeah, man. I assume the dates aren't escalating. I already read that one. Okay, I'm catching up now. That's good. But like I said to him, I wanted to practice here, then move to a big city. But he said he doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Practice there and then move to a bigger city. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe he got so smooth to where he thinks he gotta prove himself. Might be. Also, he can use the mission method stuff by saying, "Hey, let me show you my goldfish." I remember that comment. Oh yeah, thanks for liking the live. Oh, damn, almost 5K likes. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Said not right now to show. I just chalk it and move on. What are you talking about, Aaron? Jace, I need to practice urgently. I'm 20, almost 21. By 22 highlights, 23. I want to be in the game. You can start practicing now as much as you can, but you got to do at least 2 or 3 approaches a day. Can you do that for me? Dark Magic Tea. Today is my girl's birthday. I'm gonna tell her happy birthday at 11:59, but I know she thinks I forgot. Oh, that's sweet. Definitely do that. I hope she appreciates that. I really do, because like staying up for her till 11:59, she must be special. A solution is to date multiple girls at once. Even better, have more girlfriends at once. Yes, we make progress indeed. If they find out, even better. Yes, it is. I put a system in place with my friend to force ourselves to approach. You gotta do at least 2. Good. More experience points. I often just talk to people. Oh, I read that one. How do you deal with an insecure girl? To be honest, you don't. At least for me, anyway. Because it requires a lot of reassurance to deal with women that are genuinely insecure. Well, okay, every woman is insecure. Like that's a little harsh for me to say. Every woman to some degree is insecure. You don't want to deal with girls that are too insecure though, because there's almost nothing you can do to help them except get their swag up, right? Like if a woman feels insecure in a relationship, it's because she doubts her own ability to keep the relationship going, which means in her mind she's a piece of shit and she doesn't deserve you. So what would you have to do to circumvent that? You would have to A, give her a lot of reassurance to make her feel safe and secure in a relationship, which is a lot of work you got to do. Or 2, get her to begin to believe in herself a little more than she already does. Right? So keep those things in mind. 5K likes, Spooky. Thank you. Appreciate you. 5.1 now. I appreciate that, guys. Approaches per week, and if you don't, you're fined $7 per miss, and the money will be donated to foundations. Oh, that's a good one. I would increase the amount of money, though. $7 isn't enough motivation. Take it up to like $70. $70 for every missed approach? Oh, yeah, you'll approach. You'll approach, especially if $70 is a lot to you, for sure. Follow-up date question to give more details. I escalated during the date. We kissed. I asked her. Okay, what happened next? I still need to see them glutes. That's funny. Once your game is more advanced and you're more congruent, does that? I already had that one. That video of game is so true. I went from cold approach to shawty buying me a phone within a week. Exactly. The shift really does happen that quickly. Because once you know what you can get away with women, it becomes very obvious. This facts, doing the legwork for 6 when an 8 or a 9 is already confident. Exactly. Like, so much less work, bro. So much less work. I hate extra work when it comes to women. I really fucking do. That shit pisses me off. It annoys me. Especially at this point in time. Especially at this level. I'm a Captain Save-A-Ho, but not that much of a Captain Save-A-Ho. Like, goddamn. At some point, you gotta save yourself, bitch. Like, come on. Can't do all the fucking legwork. Let's see. Hey, Jace, please can you add a timestamp to your YouTube videos? I don't even know how to do that. I see that all the time. I gotta watch like a tutorial or something on YouTube to figure that out, because I don't know how to do that. But I will figure it out and I'll do it for sure. So basically, the way to know if you're flirting and sexual tension building is effective is to see if even when there's pushback, does she entertaining or not. Exactly. Even when a girl says no or not yet or something like that, there's still signs that like she's fucking with it. She's into it, you know. See if even when there's pushback, does she? I feel like becoming advanced is going to be a very crucifying and exciting process. Yes, it is. Like it'll cost a lot of pain to get there, but you also get a massive upside in skill level and access. Had you experienced it like that too? Yes, it was a lot of fucking pain. It was a lot of pain. Did you see the Adesanya fight? Yes, I did. It was a great fight. It was a wonderful fight. How did Izzy lose that fight, and why? Basically, he was the guy that with the weaker strategy. Let's just say, Duplessis is the inferior fighter. I've always said this. I feel like the way he fights, he makes me feel like I can fucking beat his ass. Literally, he doesn't move like someone that knows how to fight. He's awkward. He's weird. His punches come from weird angles. His stance is goofy. The way he even like switches stance from southpaw to orthodox, he moves like a fucking robot. He's goofy looking. But there's two things he has that no one can deny, and that's why he's champion. One, he is disciplined as fuck. He's probably the most disciplined UFC fighter right now. He's very disciplined. And because of that discipline, he's two, very patient. He knows how to stick to a plan from beginning to end. The reason he won that fight against Izzy, which by the way he was losing decisively before that point, was because he knew what the game plan was and he used it to his advantage and he executed it perfectly. That's why he won. That is why he fucking won. And he deserved to win. That was his fight to win. When you fight that beautifully and you can take advantage of a moment that precisely, absolutely. Why do you think very religious people are doing so incredibly well in MMA? Because in order to inflict pain on someone and to be okay with getting pain inflicted on you, you have to believe in something greater than yourself to justify the give and take of fighting. You can't be no regular dude fighting. Regular people don't excel at fighting. It's a crazy man's sport. It's a crazy man's sport. You have to be a high level of delusional to believe that you can go through an entire career and never get hurt, never get knocked out, never get exposed or shown out or dominated, anything like that. It's a very delusional thing you have to believe. So yes, one of the most delusional things you can believe in is God. Not because God isn't real, but because to a lot of people he isn't. Does that make sense? If I want to get to advanced ASAP, how many approaches do you think I need to be doing daily, weekly? I would say shoot for like 20 a day. 20 a day. 20 solid approaches a day should be fine. Give yourself like a good break every week, every 2 days, and you should be fine. Let's see. Oh, I see. Have you experienced... I'm about to cut my dreads. Should I take photos and become an icon on Pinterest? Sure. I don't want you to cut your dreads though, but go for it. What is the best way to deal with anxiety? To experience more of it. The best cure for anxiety is exposure therapy. The reason you feel like your anxiety is the biggest problem you have is because you keep trying to run away from it. The moment you realize that anxiety is something you should force yourself to experience more of, the less afraid you become of it. What do you mean by break it? Like not approaching every 2 days or so? Yeah, like just take a break. 2 days break. Yeah. I want to start a cult. Any advice? First step, believe in something greater than yourself. The reason people join cults is because they believe in their leaders. And they believe their leaders are being led by something greater than themselves. That's the first step. The second step, be a truly benevolent leader. Be someone that actually cares about their followers, or at the very least pretends to care about their followers more than the followers even realize, right? If you see all these cultists and you see how people just dedicate their lives to them and their belief system, it's not because, I was actually talking about this yesterday with my bitch. We were on TikTok and we saw, I don't know if you know who this guy is, Eligio Bishop, Nature Boy. And he's in a video, literally on TikTok Live. This is when he was still free. He's in prison now. He's in prison and he's created another cult in prison, but I digress. He's on TikTok Live. He's got the phone in his hand like this, and he's got his fucking people behind him, right? Also read Tribe. It will help. Yes, Tribe is a great book. He's got his people behind him, his wives and all the guys that follow him, and he's just barking orders saying the most fucked up things, smacking them in the faces. They're feeding him fruit, and he's just like the most biggest asshole. And my girl goes, why would they allow another man to treat them like this? Why would they give themselves to this man? And he's bragging. He's like, these motherfuckers wouldn't be nothing without me. They disgust me. But I'm gonna make gods out of them. All these people here have given me more than $40,000 of their money, and just bragging and shit. And she's like, why would people do this? Why would they abase themselves to someone like this? I'm like, because they genuinely believe that whatever it is they're getting out of him is worth more than the humiliation you're going through. Catch that. Catch that. This might make you rich one day if you listen. They believe that what they're getting out of him is worth more than the humiliation they're going through at his hands. I messaged this girl to go talk to your other situationship because I'm busy right now. Beginner mistake. That is a funny mistake to make. I mean, if you say it confidently enough, it's not really a mistake. Like, yeah, go talk to another guy. Don't bother me. For real. It made it even worse by saying, so, did you message him? And she said, why? Maybe. Cool, play along. Like, oh, okay, cool, that's good. I hope you guys are having fun. Tell him I said not to mind your giant forehead, though, and I know it gets in the way of kissing. Like, literally, just fucking play back. You didn't lose the frame. Don't stop thinking about it too hard. Like, just, she's flirting back, dude. She's trying to poke around and poke fun with you. Girls do that from time to time. It is what it is. Jace, is there a way to contact you directly? Oh, hell yeah. Join my group, baby. Join my group. Join the group, link in the bio. Join the group. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Yeah. Join the group. Let's see. What if you frame it in a way that makes it look like you don't care about it? Oh, when we're talking about sex? Yeah, you can do that. I feel so much more confident in my game now that I texted many girls and I fucked up with just to win now. That's funny. And that's a massive boost in confidence too, when you really believe in your ability to be advanced when you have the ability to recover bad situations. That's really the difference between an advanced person and everybody else, is that we don't make mistakes, not because we are incapable of making mistakes, but because we have the ability to create wins out of our L's. We can turn our mistakes into fortune, good fortune, right? And how many dates, by the way, we created a challenge in the group chat to all get 10 dates by the end of the year. By the end of the year, that's a shitty fucking challenge. 10 dates at the end of the year? What is that? Like, how many months do we have left? Like 2 dates a month? Wait, what? 2 dates a month? Fuck wrong with y'all? You can do better than that. Not my group. Not my group. You can do way better than that. Way better than that. 10 groups a year. Right? See, even Dimitri agrees. 10 dates is way too fucking easy. 10 dates? Come on. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. Almost made me want to strip away your intermediate titles, but be careful. I'm gonna call you intermediate novices now. That's interesting. Literally got like 8 dates this month. Like, bruh, that by mistake, 8 dates in a month. 8 dates in a month is a mistake if I have to make it. That's an interesting law. Where's the law of the... Oh yeah, I read that one. I want to correct all these L's. Go for it. Money. In the Middle East, we consider Greece as not even European. Really? I don't know if it's all of us, but that's how I grew up. Really? Didn't know that. So basically, Greece is like Asian. Again, it might just be me, a me thing. Take it with a grain of salt. I will. So is there a similar thing in Africa? Yes, that's South Africa. We do not consider. I'm happy you mentioned that. Okay, depending on who you ask in Africa, there's certain regions in Africa that we don't consider real Africa. A good portion of the north, depending on which African you ask, is in Africa. The country, South Africa specifically, like not the other African countries, not the other South African countries. Like we still fuck with Mozambique and Zimbabwe, Botswana, Madagascar is a whole island that's literally away from the rest of Africa, but we still fuck with Madagascar, especially because of the movie. But South Africa, sometimes we don't want to claim Ethiopia or Eritrea. Sometimes, but fuck it, we fuck with them too a little bit. It's mostly the north. Whenever I hear people talk about this is not part of Africa, it's usually they're talking about northern countries, Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, which for me is like, fuck wrong with y'all. The coolest fucking Africans I've met are from Morocco. I fuck with Morocco so heavy, bro. Fucking love Morocco. Well, at least the Moroccans I know. Let's put it that way, you know. Losers are Diddy. That's the rule. I love that rule, by the way. Losers are Diddy. You got to get the Diddy glasses and you got to do the Diddy bop in the group chat. That's the rule. Oh, Jace, the girl bounced back around. You were right. Now I lost interest now, though. Oh, that one girl we were talking about before? Yeah, see? Hey, it is what it is. It's so funny. Let's see. I love you, Jace. I don't know what you told me. Damn, you're my main guy. I love you too, brother. So basically, the increases, I was just talking about that. So basically, when you're close to having it but don't get it, lay low for a while in order to not appear to need it because she's using that opportunity to test if you're thirsty. Yes, essentially. What law of the game is this related to? It's pretty much an advanced law. It's in the game, in the advanced laws, it's called the law of effortlessness. That's what it's called, right? The entire point of being advanced, right? One of the major points of it anyway, is being able to do things and make them look easy. That's why advanced people are advanced. Is that we can do essentially what most people would call miracles with women, but make it look very effortless, very easy. The effortlessness is connected to detachment. That's why it looks effortless. Because it looks like we don't want the thing. And yet it happens. You know? Trying to talk to Wizkid Bay again. Ooh, but she said she's got a man now. She told you that? How do I approach it? I need more context with that one, okay? She told you she has a man. I said, how long has it been, has he been pestering you for? And she laughed and said, you have no shame. That's funny. And then you go, absolutely not. So anyway, when are we going to meet each other up? Like, literally say that. Like, just, you know, treat it like a shit test she gave you. That's all it is. Go from there. All right, got 1 out of 10 with a 35-year-old. I won't be a Diddy, trust me. On that. All right, fine. No Diddying today. Let's see. It's Asia as far as I understand. Same way with Egypt, it's Asia type shit. Yeah. Jace be exposing himself. I like it. And you know, I have to show myself sometimes. This is true. The more eager you are, it's almost like they want it less. Yes. Egypt is different though. Trying to spam here. Hey, type shit. Does the law of detachment also attack your goals and dreams? Yes. Freedom and security, yes. Hey, this was huge. Gonna reflect on it. Thank you. Please do. There we go. I love that. We had a conversation about that, by the way. The law of detachment. Very important stuff. Started reading the Bible again because of a pickup artist, pickup scientist. You low-key a preacher for real. Hey, I've come to do the Lord's work. I have. I do it in a weird way, right? I do it by teaching you guys how to relate yourself better to women, but it's still a great way to you know, get you on the right path. Because women will be the ultimate litmus test for who you are. Nothing will test you like them. She given a shocking reaction about the forehead stuff, and I said, it's funny watching you get insecure. Well, there you go. Perfect. I was gonna cut her off before the incident because, to be honest, I don't like her, but now I feel guilty. Who are we talking about? Well, the locks, I feel like TikTok took away your first comment. So instead of being advanced one day, I should be advanced today. Yes, assume advanced right now. Yo, Jace, how you doing? And love what you preaching. Yes, thank you, Julian. Appreciate you, man. You talking about manifestation and affirmations? A little bit. Who you voting for in the presidential election? Trump, obviously. You talking about manifestation? Oh shoot, I think I got it. I already did that one too. Trump, obviously. If anyone's wondering my political affiliation, Trump. Not because I think Trump is God, but because I think I'd rather have him in there than Kamala. Obviously. There are forces that are at work that are seeking to destroy what we have. And the signs are there. They're out to get and destroy everything and to make everything worse. And to sedate the public into thinking it's the right thing by using fear and intimidation. All right, so keep that in mind. Let's see. All defeat is psychological till death. Yes. How can you use that to gain more? Oh, I read that one. Thoughts on Dante Nero. Dante's a fucking G. Shout out to Dante Nero. Dante is one of the few older school G's we have left, man. Appreciate him while he's here. Yeah, but how do you shift in that mindset? I feel like you gotta be already read that one. TikTok literally bringing up a tab about U.S. election. There also is crazy guys. Hold on, I gotta click on the watch your tongue here. Fair enough. I will watch my tongue with the whole TikTok election thing. How do you shift the mindset? I feel like I already read that one. For the attention shift, it reminds me when they say don't look down and then you look down. Exactly. Whatever you set your mind to, your attention will, focus on. Even when it's something you don't mean to shift your mind to. He's right as fuck. When I was in early high school, I was bad at math and thought I'd never be able to break into tech. I started to watch videos of these daily lives of a software engineer and started imagining living like it. I then started to work hard, even during summer, to become good at it. I graduated 2 years ago with an MSc and now work in tech. Even if I thought it was too low, I was too low IQ to do it. There you go. There's something crazy about assuming that you are what you want and then becoming that thing immediately. Not saying you should watch your tongue, bro. I'm telling the gents to be, careful. Oh, I shouldn't watch my tongue? Fuck it then. I'm about to start talking shit. Excellent. Let's see. I tap into mine from writing after waking up very early. Oh, that's a good way to get amazing inspiration and ideas, actually. Great way to do it. Jace, how much is a poor, average, and a lot in savings account? And how much is poor, average, and a lot? For monthly salary? I mean, it depends. It really, there's no correct way to answer that question. An old joke I always used to make years ago was that I made my first million working at Chipotle. And the joke is this. I grew up in Nigeria, right? I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. I was born in Surulere. And with the Naira to US dollar currency exchange at the time, $1 million Naira was about $3,000. And I hit $3,000 working at Chipotle in the first 6 months or something. So the joke was, even though I'm in America making dollars, spending dollars, right? Was it 6 months or 3? It was 3 months. It was I remember it was 3 months because it was $3,000, 3 months. I had a whole joke routine around it, 333 something. And it was even though I'm making money in America and spending that money by American dollar value, back at home, this same money would make me a millionaire. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to explain is it's relative to where you are and what you can survive on depending on what part of the world you're in. So you got to figure it out I would say Google what the average person in wherever you are makes and then multiply that by at least 5. That's what you should be making, I would say. Could you keep the advanced laws as they are instead of reducing them? Think it would be more useful to us. I don't want to make it too long-winded is the thing. You know, I want it to be concise. But if you guys want it raw, sure, fuck it. I'll make it raw. Whatever. She says she's not seeing me, and why would I want her if I was able to take her from another man? You say because I'm a better man. I mean, obviously, like, I expect to be able to take you from another man because I'm better. What do you think? You must. This is one of those things I wish you could say in like a phone call as opposed to, you know, just over the phone. I would have a whole fucking rant about that because that would be a good opportunity to show my mindset and my level of confidence. Why would you want me if I can take you if you can take me from another man? Because I'm better. Or you think my self-esteem is so low that I'll think like, if I can take you from another man can take you from me? No, I'm better. So that means I can fucking take you from him and no one can take you from me. I'm better. Where are you going to find another me? Where? I'm better. That's literally what I'm sure you can feel it while I'm saying it from the depths of my fucking soul. Because I mean that shit. Oh, the way you lose her. How does fucking losers say it on the internet? The way you get her is the way you lose her. No, it's not. I'm the exception to that rule. I'm better. I'm better. Let me chill out. If I get too crazy. Should I voice note it? Yes. Use a voice note. Thank you. Do that. Use a voice note. Be like, don't ever insult my fucking level of self-esteem like that again. You think I'll be worried about some other man taking you from me if I had you? No! There is no other man that can. I'm better. And yes, I expect to take you from him because I'm better. I'm him. Alpha and Omega of that pussy. The fuck? Talking about See, and then by the way, close it out with, you see, that's why you need to be hanging around guys like me. You're hanging around guys with low self-esteem. That's why you have weird thoughts like that. You need to come hang with me. Close that shit out. This next course series that will be released is probably going to be the advanced laws. I'm currently touching up the end of the tension series, so I got to put that out, and then after that it'll probably be the advanced laws, and then after that persuasive speaking. Been working on that one in the background. How to speak persuasively. You said you wanted to make it 7. How many are there now? There's like 17, right? And that's just me being meticulous and trying to separate each part. And that's kind of the thing is like a lot of them are connected. I really can just mesh them together and it'll still make sense, you know? They came up with that rule to mate guard their own women. Women adjust to their men all the time. True. Weak men do a lot of mate guarding by putting infectious, diseased ideas in the minds of women. So that those women believe nonsense so that they can keep that woman safer. It's goofy. Well, safe from guys like me anyway, and it doesn't work. Could you make it like 10 or 12? I might be able to make it 13. I think I could do the 13. Yeah, sure. Maybe. I gotta look at the. Gotta look at the. I could adjust it down to 13. I might be able to do 13. No promises though. I might be able to make it 13. Might be able to. We'll see. Let's see. Bro's prefrontal cortex is fully shifted in gear 5. Maybe it could be associated with that type shit. That's funny. So essentially, you just have to see and believe the life you want to have in this life. Yes, and then be willing to pay the price to get it, because the universe will ask you. That would be lovely, Pookie. Thanks in advance. Bars. Type shit. What if I don't know that the steps will work? I don't know if the steps will lead me to my goals. You're not supposed to know. Like, you're supposed to believe they will. even if you have no evidence that they will. That's what faith is all about, right? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's what faith is all about. Damn, that's so true. Guys from my race hate it when black men date women due to inferiority. That same type of thing. Yeah. That exact same type of thing. Let's see. I could talk about that in like at length, honestly, because the same thing happens. I mean, it happens in a lot of places where people are like, should I even talk about that here? Because that's a sensitive topic. I will. So I was talking about this to a friend of mine recently about how, you know, white dudes kind of fuck themselves over by trying to make black men look more dangerous. That was a big mistake on their part. Because, and when I say white dudes, I'm talking about old-timey white dudes, right? The guys who perpetrated and instigated slavery and all that, like the race mindset, right? Because race didn't even exist as a concept till very recently. And by recently, I mean like recently in human history. Like a couple fucking years, 100 years ago. But they thought the best way to protect their wives from going with the black guys, the slaves, so to speak, is to tell their wives, oh, they're big, beastly monkeys, they're fucking dangerous and selfish and greedy, and they'll do these things and do bad things to you, blah, 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 blah. They thought that would be the way to make guard and get and discourage their wives and their daughters from dealing with men that look like me. The problem with that is they didn't have any fucking idea how evolutionary psychology works. Because if they did, they would know they were helping our cause. And now we live in a world where black men are seen as the most dangerous creature. Like, we do have a prejudice about that. And yes, there's some disadvantages to it, but especially when it comes to dating, massive fucking advantages. Massive advantages. Because danger and the capacity for danger equals survivability. And survivability is what creates attraction in women. Kind of screwed yourself on that one, old racist white man. Didn't even do shit. I can't even claim the credit or the benefit for any of that. It's just like, hey, it just happened. The math ain't mad enough. She literally has an outfit that could pay for the hospital bill. Who are we talking about? Who has an outfit that could pay for what hospital bill? If I understand. When you're generally the most hated type of person, is it an advantage in game? Absolutely. Massive advantage. Massive advantage. You know, massive advantage because of all the implications that come with that. Right? It also is a massive advantage because of the perceived strength we have. Think about it. If you're living as the quote unquote most hated person on planet Earth, and you can survive within that and still have massive levels of confidence, what do you think that portrays to people? You're a survivor. That's massive. You're a fucking survivor. That's why I keep saying Indian dudes, if they get their shit together, they're fucking next up, bro. They are next up. Listen to me. All Vishnus and Parajits and Varuns and Vikrants of the world, I'm talking to you now. If y'all get your shit together, you're up. And I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the signs of it. What's the biggest song on TikTok right now? Wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finna 10 toes down when we standing on red. Who's that? It's happening. Indian boys are up, baby. It's up. It's happening. Do you have any game to hypnotize women over text? I wouldn't advise that. Nah, not a good way to do it because you can't control the flow state. You can't control the subconscious in and out. You can't control all the things that need to happen for you to be able to have control over your subject. Like, no, I wouldn't advise that. Do that in person. Bro, why doesn't TikTok let me pin my comment? Ain't even that bad. I may find a different variants. So how did that one get pinned? That's funny. Hold on, let me see something. You're a mod, so should be able to. Pin comments. Yeah, you can pin comments. It's right there. You can pin comments. What do you? Oh, you read that one. 10 years ago. There we go. Exactly. I feel like I'm my worst enemy. I don't have a lot of self-confidence or trust. You will build that trust in yourself the more you see yourself follow your own instructions. Start small. Start small. You don't got to go from 0 to 100. Start small. Tell yourself to do something, a very easy task, and get the win and how good you feel from being able to complete that small thing, and then allow that to snowball. There we go. In case y'all couldn't see me. Allow that to snowball over time. Yeah, it's just tough for my long distance girl. Oh, no, the solution to that is not hypnotizing her. The solution to that is being exciting, bro. Being fucking exciting. That's the solution. Stop trying to hypnotize her. That's not the solution, okay? I made a decision lately about building positive character. Logically, it's the right thing, but it doesn't feel good because I've been having anxiety about it. Why would you have anxiety about building positive character? What's that about? Didn't get the notification for this live. Don't worry about it. You're here now. How to know if it's self-doubt or thinking ahead? Very simple. The difference between self-doubt and thinking ahead is if there's a solution at the back of it. If you're thinking ahead, there's a solution. If there's self-doubt, there's no solution. It's just you telling yourself bad news or anticipating the worst in the future. Let's see. The girl getting upset about the forehead thing. What about her? If you went back in time in your 20s, I'm 24, what's your daily or weekly goals for improving your game? At that age, whatever the fuck I was doing at that time was probably just okay, because I turned out great. What was I doing? I was making sure, because of the way my life looked like at the time, the way my routine was set up, I was making sure I was doing at least 3 or 4 approaches a day. At least. I was making sure I was getting a new number every single day, at least one. Should I say the forehead thing? Yes, you should. You just dropped hella gems. Thank you. Why women test you? Because they have to see if you're strong enough to survive the world for them. They have to see if you're strong enough to actually keep them safe. And strength isn't just a physical thing. It's also psychological. They have to know that you're not the kind of man that'll break and crumble under pressure. The ability to withstand pressure and to survive anxiety is very attractive to women. Because all psychological pressure is really just going to be in the form of anxiety anyway. It's no coincidence that Christ paid a price to save us. Interesting how the realms work. Yes, sacrifice is a big thing in all these realms, all of them, but especially the higher ones. There's a lot of legality involved in it, baby. There's a lot. You kind of did it for this 21-year-old by saying approach once a day, 3-month relationship with a 25-plus-year-old, and 2, is it okay to gaslight? I don't understand the first question, but 2, is it okay to gaslight? Absolutely. What's wrong with creating a reality that allows her to live in a little more bliss? No wrong with that. By the way, I felt like 300 comments about the forehead stuff. Trying to get it pinned, just ignore it. That's funny. Okay. Let's see. So that's what idolatry is. It can even be your food. Yes. Yes. Anything you worship above yourself is your idol. Let's see. I told this girl to chat to her situationship because I'm busy. Did I already write that one? Didn't I? What is the mental or physical ratio to shoot for strength? Ratio? Be strong at both. Be strong mentally as you are physically. Preferably well above average in both. Preferably. It's a lifelong journey, by the way. But you got to be well above average in both. And it's, honestly, compared to most people, it's not that hard. It's just that most people aren't willing to do the work. But it's easy. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations every day. It's very important that at some point in the day, you're feeling uncomfortable. That's why I love exercise. Jiu-jitsu, martial arts, kickboxing, MMA. They force you to put yourself in situations that no one would put themselves in. That no one would willingly put themselves in. But to be in those situations and to get used to those situations and to allow yourself to still think clearly even in those situations, they make you tough, man. And you got a guy twice your size marching towards you with fucking 14-ounce gloves on. And you know if he swings that right hand, he will take your fucking face off. And even within that, you got to think tactically enough to know just the right distance to slip that encounter. That's good practice for not just your body and your reaction time and your speed and your strength and your power, but also for your mind. To allow the fear you feel to be your motivator and not the thing that paralyzes you. Make yourself feel uncomfortable every day. Even if it's like running on the treadmill till you die. Maybe not till you die, but you get the point. Because if you're running on the treadmill and you set the treadmill to run at a certain speed for a certain amount of time, at some point you will have that experience of everything in your body telling you to stop. You've already gotten to a good amount of time. You're already sweating buckets. Your legs feel like they're about to give up. You can barely keep your form anymore. Your head is bobbing side to side. You're tired. Is that snot coming out of your nose? Is that saliva dropping down from your mouth? What the fuck? Why can I feel sweat at the back of my neck? And everything in your body will be screaming for you. Stop. Just get off and lie on the ground and just breathe. The ability to keep going, even when your own body is telling you to stop, that builds mental strength. And that builds a pride in yourself like you will never understand. And you know you have the ability to tell yourself to shut the fuck up, despite all the pain you feel. It's a big deal, man. Do you think a speech impediment can hold you back from advanced game like a slight stutter? Nope. What makes stutters unattractive is how nervous and lacking in confidence you look when you have them. But there's ways to have a stutter and still be confident. The best way, by the way, I've seen, and that's from someone that actually has a stutter, is to actually tell them you have a stutter to begin with. That way, it's not something that they have to deal with as the conversation goes on. You tell them straight up, like, listen, I just have a stutter. Just ignore it. I take a little while to get to my point, but trust me, it's just a brain thing. It has nothing to do with me. I can't control it, right? That way, you dissociate yourself from the things that are usually associated with stutters, like the lack of confidence, nervousness, etc. With that said, though, if you do have a stutter, you might want to look into solving that. You might want to look into curing that, because there are cures for that. It's all about your brain and its connection to your speech, right? So try to fix that. Let's see. If I'm trying to set up my IG, TikTok, etc., use them as motivation or discipline triggers type shit, you might have to clear out your current For You page. Because if your For You page is brain rot, then yeah, you're not going to go too far. You know? How can self-expression be something that you put above yourself? A lot of people feel the need to be heard because maybe they grew up in a household that made them feel like they weren't heard or appreciated all the time. Maybe they had certain life experiences and circumstances that made them feel like they had to overcompensate with their voice somehow. And then they get so caught up in the need to be heard by others that they're willing to do whatever it takes to be heard and to be seen. And that becomes the thing that consumes their existence. That becomes their God, right? So yeah, it's actually very common, especially here on this app. But we won't talk about that right now. Oh, Sasio, where have you been, bro? Let's see. I'm linking. Oh, yeah, I did write that one. Right. How can I start my journey to becoming wise? One step, studying the Bible, and then what? Applying the Bible. The studying part is the first part. Now you got to actually use the information you get in it in your life and start seeing and experimenting with it, right? The studying, by the way, studying is essentially absorbing the information and understanding the information correctly, preferably from multiple different points of views, right? From a multi-dimensional type of approach. And then using all those different understandings of it in different aspects and areas of your life so that you can begin to see tangible results. That's when it really becomes a part of you. I could talk to you all day about driving a Formula One racing car. Until I put you in one and I allow you to go full speed in one, you'll never really truly appreciate the skill of doing it. Right? Think about it like that. Study astrology also. Yes. Just study the human mind, study psychology, study evolutionary psychology, study all things that pertains to how we relate to each other and how we move through the world and how to make the world a better place in terms of like the service you provided. Study, and practice. How long does it take your students on average to go from intermediate to advanced? I'm about to find out. Let's see. Let's see what the average is. I don't know what the average is quite yet myself. It's not like the world is teeming with advanced people for, whatever reason. I've only really created maybe 2 advanced people so far. And I've been doing this, 3 years now? Right? So one took a lot longer than the other. And for good reason. In fact, the first person, not the first person, but, the first person I anointed advanced, he's a fucking prodigy, So, I don't think I should really count him as part of the average, to be honest. When he came to me, he was already intermediate too, which kind of helped. What are common questions you ask yourself while studying the Bible to understand it more? The most important one is, who was the writer of this passage and what was the context of his life at the time? What was that, like how old were they? I really try to go out of my way to understand that. How old were they? What have they experienced at this point in their lives? And why did they write this like this? I really want to understand the context behind the messenger of the message. Let's see. Well, the wise men found Christ with the star. Yes, they did. Hey, Jace, can I be mod? How did I do it? You can be mod. Why not? Maybe. You have put in a lot of work, though, Profilo. If anyone should be mod, it's you. All right, maybe I'll anoint you in the next live. Not this live, though. Let's see. A sphere has the least amount of surface area of any 3D shape. That's why everything is that shape. Universe is lazy. That's so funny. The universe is like, how do I make everything the least amount of surface area of anything? What shape do I use? Rhombus? Not too much surface area. I know. Sphere. Is there some biological reason women like drama? Yes, there actually is. It's the need for excitement. It's the need to fulfill both sides of hypergamy, the protective side and the provision side. And both sides are extremes. One is stability and comfort and predictability. The other is excitement, unpredictability, and tension. In order to feel like the man, or men in some cases, that are looking after her have the capacity to fulfill both sides, she has to feel both degrees of emotion. And that's why they like drama. That translates into them physically, seeking out massive spikes in emotions on a daily basis. So yes, there's actually a very evolutionary and scientific reason why women like drama. Are you saying we have a star? Every human being has their own star they're born with. Every single one, yes. Can you outrun your sign? What if you don't like the traits your sign is associated with? It doesn't matter if you like them. And by the way, every trait is on a spectrum. So you can either have one side of that trait or the other side of that trait. Right? But you got to think of each trait like a coin. It depends on what side of the coin, the head or the tail, you're manifesting in that particular time in your life because of whatever circumstance you happen to be in. If you believe you're the shit, isn't it a bit contradictory to keep talking to a girl who don't respond back, hot girl blase? No, it is not contradictory. It's because I believe I'm the shit that I'm trying to give her the opportunity to understand what she's talking to. Because you gotta give women the grace of being dumb, bro. Women are not intelligent. Like, is that a harsh way to put it? No, not really. It's the truth. Women are not fucking psychics with powers. They cannot read your mind and understand things just as face value. They're out here just trying to guess through life. Like, honestly, like most people are. So you can't expect her to immediately identify value. You gotta give them a bit of time to understand the value that they're actually dealing with. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect fucking sense. Right? What do you think the best cities are for game? Or do cities even matter? Cities matter as far as population. Right? Population matters. There will be a density of certain types of girls in different cities. Right? So yeah, they do matter as far as those, in terms of like just the number of times and quantity and frequency of times you run into the kind of girls you're looking for. Assuming your city is filled with the kind of girls you're looking for. But depending on what kind of girl you're looking for, there's different types of cities for you. If you want, I don't even know what country you live in, but I live in America, and depending on what kind of girl you like, there's different cities for that. Keep that in mind. Full update question. To give more details, I escalated during the date with Kiss. I asked her to come back to the second date. She asked my address. I gave her, but she's taking longer and longer to respond. If she finds an excuse not to come, should I propose another date? No, just literally be like, you know what? I have a better idea. Let's go to this date instead. I just remembered I don't really know you like that. I don't trust you to not kill me in my sleep. Let's go here instead. Say that instead. Let's see. How much do looks matter in the game? A lot in the first 2 minutes, maybe less than that. And then after that, it's all about what you have the ability to do to keep them interested. How to deal with when you get attached too easily. Do it over and over and over again until you stop getting so sensitive to attachment. The reason you keep getting attached so easily is because you have no experience, right? So get desensitized to attachment. Could I get a siren chick and take her on dates that prioritize the experience of danger? You can do that. Go to like a gun range or something, or axe throwing. Those are the kind of stuff I like to do. I need your guy. This unreal frame battle loss. Nah, that wasn't a frame battle. If I want to get to advanced, I already read that one. Is it better to approach women on the street directly with your intent or warm up to it during convo? Honestly, the kind of girls I like, the hot, sexy kind of girls, the 10s, the really bougie chicks, you can't really approach those girls directly because everyone's trying to. It's not going to work. You know, to be a different experience for them, you got to be the one guy that goes up to them and goes, you know what? You might have the most beautiful resting bitch face I've ever seen. You just look so uninviting. It's crazy to me. That's what the kind of girls I like want to hear. But not that they want to hear it. In fact, they don't even know anyone that talks like that, right? But they respond to it very well because that for them is intriguing. Every other guy is like trying to get them and trying to nosy up to them and cozy up to them and trying to get something out of them. To appear to them as being the one guy that doesn't seem to want anything, he just wants to like poke and tease fun at her. That's exciting to them, right? And then from there, you can be like, you know what, you're kind of cool. I do like talking to you so far. I'll take your number. We'll talk later, right? Say that. How do you deal with crazy or intensity of feelings with wanting to hurt a bitch that hurt you? You feel that way because, well, you genuinely believe that she had the power to do that to you. You allowed her to have the power to do that to you, right? You when you feel that kind of hurt, that kind of pain, you're allowing her to be right about whatever conclusion she made about you, right? The best way to get over that is to realize, one, she hurt you because she probably did it because she was scared. Women do everything, well, not everything, but 99% of the things they do, so everything they do, out of fear. Believe it or not, even liking you, a big part of that is the fear of losing you, right? So don't be mad at the creature for doing what it does. Don't be mad at a dog for barking. Don't be mad at a lion for biting. It is what it is. Stop being so mad at that. Understanding that hurt, that she hurt you, it wasn't malicious, really takes away the sting from it. And then secondly, stop being a little bitch. You know? Like, oh, she hurt me. I gotta hurt her back. Like, what are you, Eminem? Like, you're better than to dedicate your life to making some chick feel something. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? I'm gonna make her feel the hurt that she made me feel, and it's gonna do something. Like, it ain't gonna do shit, bro. She's not gonna care. Trust me. So you have better things to worry about. You know, be a man. Do you think there's a spiritual reason for deja vu? I've been having a lot of it recently. Oh, absolutely. That's just synchronicity in different points in time, right? Different points in the same. It's like the same present moment happening over and over and over again. Think about it like a precursor for the same. If you can remember what happened during the last time you had that deja vu, think about it like a way to read the future. Or a warning for something. It's not always a bad thing, by the way, but yeah, essentially, right? It's like when you're playing a video game and you see the boss do that one telegraphed move, right? That one, he's about to do a special super move, and he has a certain movement for it. And if you've been playing the game a long enough time, you know, oh, okay, he's about to do this move, I should get out the way. That's what deja vu is. It's like the boss telegraphing that he's about to do this move. That's all deja vu is, right? So if you can remember what happened the last time you had a deja vu, you can have a clue into what might happen soon. How do you? I already read that one. It's always the man's fault, I know, but damn, I be feeling crazy sometimes. Don't worry about it. But put that energy towards something more useful, you know? Are you connected to African spirituality? In a way. But mind you, my affiliation is with Jesus Christ. Like, make no mistakes about that. He, for me, is the way, the truth, and the life. He has imparted me with Christ consciousness. So that's my allegiance. That's where I run my allegiance through. Do I understand my side of things, my African spirituality, my Ibuzo spirituality? Absolutely I do. But I also understand why that spirituality is the way it is and what comes with it. So I understand why I can't be associated with that shit. My girl asked if you can go over deja vu again. She's always going through it. Okay, so deja vu is like, think about it like a repeated warning sign that you felt or seen before. The thing is, people remember the deja vu itself. What people should be remembering is the thing that happened after the last deja vu. That's what they should be keeping in mind. You really got to go back in your mind and remember, okay, the last time I felt this way, the last time something like this happened, what was the most significant thing that happened in my life at that time? When you find and isolate that thing, then you can look into the future and be like, oh, okay, something similar or something that carries similar energy is about to happen. I should probably prepare for it. Does that make sense? She says she always remembers when it happening. Good. So whenever she feels that deja vu, it might be an opportunity. It might be a warning of something bad about to happen. It might be an opportunity that she's just allowing herself to let pass by because she's not remembering how to identify the opportunity and use it correctly. All right? The next time she has or feels deja vu, I want her to do two things. One, immediately get down on her knees and pray. Like, really pray, but not just any prayer. Pray for, like, thanks. Like, be grateful. Show gratitude to God. Like, thank you, Lord, for giving me the sign. This is very important. The first thing to unlock any blessing, any opportunity is gratitude. You got to feel grateful that the good thing has already happened. Right? The second thing is actually just accepting that whatever good thing that happened before will happen again. And that she will have the wisdom to navigate it better, and it will happen and manifest in an even better way than she did before. But whereas before it was unknowing and she didn't really know what was going on before, now she's going to have an opportunity to actually use it correctly. Very, very important. Now, only one or two things is going to happen when she does all that. One, she's going to see things unfold, and she might botch it or she might not. But either way, now she's going to know the deja vu that's associated with that particular event. That particular event will now be stuck in her mind. So the next time that repeats itself, and there will be cycles of it. By the way, another thing you should do is look at the time span between the first deja vu and the second. There's always a pattern. It'll happen in patterns. What I told you, it's cycles, baby. It's fucking cycles. So look at the time span between the two and expect it to happen again after the second one in that exact same time span. You feel me? Sounds like God is teaching us game on a spiritual level. Yes. It is essentially spiritual game, if you will. The world is very awesome, man. I love this universe. Thanks to your girl for listening, honestly. Tell her I said hi. The world is a beautiful place, man. God really put his entire self into this when he made this. And I do mean that quite literally. Like, he literally put himself in this. You know, he didn't need to, but he did. And it's amazing the more mysteries you uncover. It's great. So I keep telling you guys, live a fasted life, man. Live a fasted life. Be very careful what you allow to enter your life, and begin to have massive amounts of take up massive amounts of time, energy, and space in your life. The clearer and more empty you are, the more space you have to receive things that other people just can't. You know what I mean? The rain is falling on all of us all the time, but only a few of us are actually getting wet. Right? Because everyone else is wearing umbrellas or raincoats that are blocking them from receiving the blessings. You feel me? Yo, I'm 19. I got a little bit of success in my life. About to move to Miami, which you think, like, you want to move to Miami? Is that the question? You can move to Miami. Be careful of Miami, though. You know? Miami is a great place for vanity, though. It really is a great place for vanity. If you want to make a lot of money in a short period of time, move to Miami, or so I've been told. Because the competition there is so steep, it'll force you to do whatever it takes to win in a short period of time. But that's the problem with Miami. It's a short-term place. It's not a good place for long-term winning. It's not a good place to teach you or to learn patience, you know? Do you think most of life is just getting out of your own way? Oh, literally, that is all of life. We are born gods, then we are taught to be men. The story of Superman is the closest story I've seen to what human existence is like. The truth is that the moment Superman was, like, he crash landed on Earth, for those of you that are familiar with the Superman story, the moment he crash landed on Earth, he could fly, he could see through lead and all these other things, he could use his X-ray vision, he could use ice breath and run at super speeds, all those things, right? But he was raised by human parents that taught him earthly limitations. So if you watch the show like Smallville, for instance, in Smallville, he grew up in a fictional place called Smallville, obviously, in apparently Texas or whatever, in Kansas. The entire show is showing how Superman grew up as a teenager and how he taught himself how to use and unlock new powers. But the irony to that is he always had those powers. He just had to learn how to get out of his own way. Like, at some point in the comic books, for those of you that are familiar with the Superman comic books, he essentially just becomes God and learns even the most minute details about himself. Like, he doesn't even need food to be sustained for energy. He needs the sun, but he doesn't need food. So all his years living on Earth thinking, oh, I need to eat every day. I need to consume a certain amount of calories because of my powers. All limiting beliefs. All limiting beliefs. They weren't real. He was taught those things because of the environment he grew up in and the people around him. And that's the game we're playing. The game is learning more and more that we are God. But we're trapped by our own human understanding. We really are God. We are God trying his best to express himself and experience himself in many different ways. That's why we're so different and diverse. But when we were born and we were placed in all these places we were placed in, we were told we weren't. We were stripped of our godlyhood. We were robbed of our godlyhood. But don't worry. We'll get it back. This is why changing your environment at times can change our lives. Listen, I keep telling people, everyone talks about, you know, if you want to change your life, change your diet, change your, you know, start exercising. I'm not saying your body isn't good. Does he ever overcome kryptonite? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He does, actually. Go and read it. Go and Google this thing. So at some point, Superman realizes, oh, I don't have a weakness to kryptonite. I just have an adverse reaction to it. It's like an allergy, right? Because his, you know, as a kid, watching his planet get destroyed while he's flying away, he associates shards of his planet blowing up next to his ship with danger and death. So it's not really like a weakness to kryptonite. It's PTSD. And so he got over it. He got over that too. He's not weak to kryptonite anymore. Right? So it was very funny. He was playing like baseball. He was playing catch with his son, I think, like his clone son or whatever, and they're playing baseball with the kryptonite shard. But anyway, back to what I was saying. What was I just talking about? I completely forgot. our godliness. Is that what I was talking about? I can't remember. Oh, environment. Thank you. So everyone talks about diet and exercise as like the first most important thing you can control and change when it comes to making changes in your life. I argue the most important one by far is environment. Remember that 10K a month, that first 10K a month I made? There was a significant change in environment that happened before that happened. Real talk. Massive change in environment. Like I literally moved. You know what I mean? So, yes, quite literally. The environment is way more important. Because your environmental triggers quite literally shape your behavior and your habits. And that is who you are. That is what you are. It shapes your hormonal balance. It shapes your homeostasis. It shapes your biological impulses. Everything about you on a daily basis is shaped by your environment. What do you think the human equivalent of kryptonite is here? Limiting beliefs are a good example. Limiting beliefs, bad self-talk, resistance, laziness, procrastination, a distraction of any kind, really. Master your distraction, guys. Like it's great and fun to enjoy life, but don't allow those things to overcome you. There's one thing I've really learned, and this is one thing I'm really grateful for with game, is that when you're dealing with women, if there's one thing dealing with women teaches you, and this is, by the way, how you know people that don't get women. Only people that don't get women think like, oh, he has a lot of girls around him. His entire life is girls. You want to know the one lesson women teach you when you deal with them? Don't prioritize them. Because in order to get good at women, you cannot prioritize them. Women are not attracted to men that prioritize them. So if there's one lesson you learn in game from women themselves by their actions and behaviors around you, it's don't make me the most important thing in your life. That's how you get women. So whenever I hear someone go, oh, a lot of girls in his life, girls as though his entire existence. I know you don't get no bitches. I know you don't. Because if you did, you would know how much girls can't be the most important thing in my life for me to have girls in my life. Can you muscle past the physical environment with the mind? I believe it's possible, but super hard. Oh yeah, it's very possible. So even before I actually physically moved, what I did was I changed my environment. I say it like this. If you can't change your environment, change your environment. It sounds like semantics and redundancy, but I promise you it makes sense. If you cannot physically change where you are, as in move to another place or make another place your environment, then you can physically change where you are, as in make massive changes to the way your environment looks and feels, that it doesn't feel like your environment anymore, or at least the old one. Literally change it. Like change the position of your bed, change the position of your TV, change the position, like throw away old clothes, old rugs, old towels, anything that would have a trace of your old DNA on it. Change your clippers, change your shaving sticks, change your bath and body products, your hair products, change everything. Like literally make the place smell different, look different, paint it over if you have to so you can have that new paint smell. Change everything, because you would be surprised what triggers your old behaviors. Do you get what I'm saying? It's very important. It can be done. It's much harder to do, but it can be done. Can you change your room and mind instead of location? Yes, this is literally what we're talking about. Absolutely. Change but listen, it has to feel like you moved into a new place. That's how much change you have to put in. Like change your fucking mirror. I cannot even explain, like as small and as insignificant as that sounds, change your fucking mirror. The way and the thing you use to look at yourself on a daily basis has a bigger effect on yourself than however many fucking push-ups you do. I promise you. I promise you. If you put a gun in my head and said, Jason, what do I rather change? The number of push-ups I do on a daily basis or the mirror I look at every day? Motherfucker, change the mirror. Change the mirror. It's crazy that we can actually run game on our own damn self. Game was designed for you to use it on yourself. That's why I believe in it so much. I ran game on myself before I even started running game on other people. That's why I do it so well. I've practiced on myself more than anybody. You get what I'm saying? That's why I can so confidently manipulate others. Because do you know how often I manipulate myself? Man, like, come on. I'm gonna start talking crazy now. But this is so important. Change everything. Like getting you fucking air fresheners, getting you candles, wash out the fucking AC, the vents, the heaters. Change the fucking color of the light bulbs, my nigga. Change everything. Do you understand that? I love that God made us. Life is good. Life is good indeed, Dimitri. Well done. Life is very good. I love that. Love that. Life is great. How do you run game on yourself? How do you learn to do that? Literally everything I teach you guys to do to girls, do to yourself. It's all about reward and punishment. Operant conditioning. Teaching yourself to continue to do the right behaviors by rewarding yourself when you do the right behaviors. Teaching yourself to continue to avoid bad behavior by punishing yourself whenever you do bad behavior. That's exactly what I mean. Operantly condition yourself. You gotta make this motherfucker from scratch. You think Jason was born? I mean, he was, but not on May the 7th, 1995. No. A lot more recent than that. A lot more recent than that. This motherfucker, I built him. I built him from scratch. Built him. Y'all see me? Y'all see how I do? Especially those of you that are like in my mod group. You see how hard I work. You've literally seen lives of me just talking at length for hours, running on the treadmill. You think that happens in a day? You don't just decide. You just wake up one morning and I'm this guy. Like, no. You gotta build that motherfucker brick by brick. You feel me? This is why my mentor said it's essential to celebrate after a win. Rewarding the self is crucial. So crucial. Rewarding the self is even more crucial than punishing yourself. Very crucial. Very, very crucial. So important. You feel me? When I traveled to Jamaica for the first time, I felt my spirit and mind, body become more natural. Listen, a lot of you that have only ever lived in America your entire life, I dare you to go to Africa or the Caribbeans, or if Europe is more your speed, go to like Ukraine or Romania. Well, probably not Ukraine right now, but go to fucking Dagestan if you can. Don't go anywhere fancy or bougie. Go to the Philippines. Go to Thailand. Go somewhere where you have to experience nature for what it is. Somewhere where you can't get access to processed foods too often. And then live there. Like I've literally had friends come back from home, like come back from Nigeria, and remind me yet again the same thing I've always known. That the food here in America is literal poison. Like, everyone over here is fucking obsessed with calories. Oh, calories, the number of calories in this thing. I tell you right now, I eat more calories when I go back home. I get leaner. Because there's just less sugar. There's more fibers. Because it's not the calories killing you. You see what I'm saying? It's all the other extra shit they put into things they call food. It's not even supposed to be edible. It just passes through our bodies. And it leaves plaque in there. You know? So a lot of you, I'm saying all that to say, you need a fresh reset of your mind and your body. I'm telling you. Go and eat the food, breathe the air, and honestly sleep with the women of these other countries. Because there's also something very important and spiritual with that too. Right? That's why I always tell you guys, especially with women in America, I find myself very drawn to women that are vegetarians usually. I'm not a vegetarian myself. But surprise, surprise, I like vegetarian girls. Why? Because they carry the same body chemistry and pH levels of African women. That same kind of health and clean slate. Because they're not eating as many processed shit. You see what I'm saying? Very important. What does your diet look like on a daily basis? Honestly, a lot of Nigerian food. A lot of Nigerian food. I eat a lot. My diet is like rice and stew. I'll get some plantain and eggs in there. I will eat the occasional fast food and stuff. I did pick out a little bit a while ago. Got a little fat, but you know, your boy's back to being sexy. But yeah, I mean, I'll have the occasional, like even when I eat fast food, what am I really eating? It's like Taco Bell and Chipotle, which is like, as far as fast food goes, is the healthiest shit. I will have the occasional McNuggets there and there. I do like KFC. I do like chicken from KFC. I crush that in my salads and whatever. But yeah, like try to eat healthy as much as possible. My real vice, honestly, is sugar. Sugar is the shit. Like I'll be eating shortcake cookies, and I'll be eating oatmeal and raisin cookies. I mean, can you imagine? I'm like, I like sugar, and then I talk about oatmeal and raisin cookies. I fucking hate chocolate chip, you know. But yeah, my real vice is sugar for sure. But that's why I work out so much, because I can justify eating all that shit. Capitalism is good, but it can create monsters. Capitalism should be to serve others. Capitalism isn't the problem. It's the people within it, right? I keep telling people, everyone under capitalism is underpaid. Not because of capitalism, because of human greed. Everyone wants to get more than they deserve for what they're willing to give in exchange for it. You know? Is this sugar bad? No. It's actually a great source of energy, assuming you're using it as a source of energy. It's only bad when you let it sit in your body for a long period of time. That's why I work out so much, because I refuse to stop eating sugar. You know, I love sugar, but I work out enough to justify it. You know, so you know, do with that information what you must. Let's see. How do you practically make a girl work for your attention so it doesn't seem cheap? Easy. You ration it out longer. It's the length of time you're putting between each, you know, time you give her your attention. Guys, I gotta go soon. I had to go like 10 minutes ago. Holy shit. Let me run through these a little bit. 10 days into the year is light. Exactly. Thank you for saying that, Kay. Yeah, I made Claire lose her 40 it is. There we go. Lose a Diddy. There we go. That. Exactly, Moroccans and Egyptians, damn, they're Asians. That's funny. Trying to talk to, I don't know. Example of using positive reinforcement on a girl. Giving her compliments, encouraging her to keep doing the thing that she's doing that is the right thing to do. Right? People get too focused on punishing bad behavior to forget to reinforce good behavior. So whenever she does something that you like, tell her how much you like that she did that. Tell her how much you're falling more in love with her now that she did that, and just keep showering her with praise every time she does it. I said, how long has it been? I read that one. Hellenic expansion, we have stories about them. I think the reason specifically with Greece, it probably has something to do with their historical Hellenic expansion. We have stories about them. Okay, that makes sense. Would you say detachment is one of the most important laws of the game? Yes. Yes, but it's something you have to learn. You know, you can't just hear about the law of detachment, especially with regards to the game, and then just be like, okay, now I'm gonna go be detached. Like, no. Like, if you've never had sex with a girl before, there is no way you can be detached. Like, stop it. No. You haven't built the discipline to say no to pussy yet because you haven't gotten enough. Right? So it's something you gotta work your way up to. Okay? She's giving a shocking reaction about the foreheads to Ira, that one. I say I'm incredible. Good. Trump all day. Excellent. I'm glad Jace hasn't been consumed by identity politics type shit. TikTok, I already read that one. True that you're advanced, you charge a lot more girls to the game than actually getting them. Is it true? Oh, is that what you're saying? Is it true that when you're advanced, you charge a lot more girls to the game than actually getting them? Yes. But not even charge. It's more like you find your own niche. A big part of being advanced is to narrow down what kind of girls you like and just completely say no to the other 90% of women. I don't give a fuck about most women. I give a fuck about a very specific kind of woman, and she's very rare. She's not very rare, but, you know, rare, you know. So, yeah, very important. But, yeah. I'll end it there. I gotta go. I literally have to go. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Please go to join my community. We can talk about even more crazier, darker shit there that, you know, TikTok won't get us in trouble for. If you haven't already, please register for my free course. It is called Self-Belief. And I always tell people, before you even go into buying any of my actual stuff, my self-belief, my Be Interview course, and my digital pre-selection that's attached to that now, before you do any of that, please go to YouTube and watch the laws of the game. The fundamental laws of the game is where you really understand how game works, how you should be approaching game from a mindset point of view, and the laws that govern it so you can understand how to play this game and win it. Okay, very important, very, very important. Understand those laws, use those laws practically. Then if you want to work with me personally, you can go from there, okay? I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Please, 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 I always emphasize actually practicing your game, okay? It's been Jace's favorite scientist. Do with all this information what you must.